I am sure sports. You know me there. I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Trick Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
All right. Good morning. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am your host. My name is Man. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is doing fine. Hope you had a wonderful night of rest and you're up and about this morning. You understand me? Those of you who work in offices outside of your homes, hope the work at the office is going well, whether you work in the great outdoors, in the company spaces, or in an office filled with AC or fans or whatever. Hope you're having a blessed day on the job and keep on giving your best effort. Those of you who work from home, bless up every time. You understand me? So big up to all the persons who are already on the channel. I am Management. This is I Am Sure Sports, and I Am Sure Sports. You understand? We have a robust discussion. We operate with a high level of respect. We don't always have it right, but we're always sure and confident in what we express because we endeavor to always have as accurate information as possible in everything that we discuss. Of course, you understand the life of media. Not everything you know you can say. All right? Yeah, but everything you say, you should have enough information to support it. All right? So I want to say a big up to people like Chorus, Gunners Boss, Paul Watkins, Travis Spesser, Drew Ross, aka Drew Fortis. Yeah, man. Good to have you all in here. And for the others who are watching, as usual, you know what I want to do? I want to ask you, if you're watching right now, right? I want to ask you to hit the like button, right? Yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. All right? Very important. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. So we want to make sure we get that out of the way so we don't have to continually be stopping to saying, please like, please subscribe, please share. Just do that right away. Now, I know that some of you, for whatever reason, you will subscribe to kind of comment because it's on subscriber mode, and then you unsubscribe. Let it be. You understand me? No hard feelings. Whatever reasons led you to act in such a way, big up yourself. Total love, no hate. To each his own. Big up Jason Guna TV. Big up Pristine. The Mall. Bless up yourself. And Young Cryptic as well. Bless up yourself every time, man. You understand me? Yes, indeed. All right. You know, we always want to give thanks to the Most High God as well when we begin our show, you know, for giving us life, for the breath that is in our lungs. Apart from him, we are nothing, right? Apart from him, we are nothing. And I know sometimes people want us to have religious discussions. I will say to people, listen, all of us know deep down in our hearts that there is a greater being, there is a greater power. There is one who made the heavens and the earth, the one who give us life. And whether you serve him in a church or not, you understand me? You need to give thanks to him every single day and to give your life to him. You understand me? It's about the relationship. It's not the religious practices per se. It's about having a relationship with the Most High God. And that is by living a life of obedience, by loving God, loving people. It means spending time in prayer, in meditation, reading his word, obeying his word, and sharing with others the good experiences that you have had with him. This life of faith is not a bed of roses. It's not an easy life. I think it is harder to live a life in complete submission to the King of majesty and glory than it is to live as, you know, people under no leadership or guidance and just live freely. I think it's harder to abstain and refuse to participate and practice certain things that society says that we should. So I believe when a young man or a young woman, an old man or an old woman can serve the Lord in every area of their life, that's a harder thing to do than to not serve the Lord. Like, not serving the Lord is very easy, and that is why more people do it. Because wide is the road that leads to destruction, you know, but narrow is the road that leads to life. You understand me? It's a very narrow road and very few find it. I hope that you'll be one of those persons. You understand me? You see, especially your youth, you need to teach them good biblical, moral, ethical, and spiritual practices, the disciplines of a good life, because self-development demands self-discipline. Self-development demands self-discipline. If you are going to be good at anything, you have to consistently discipline your mind and discipline your life. And that is why people have set time of getting up, and they get up in the morning, and even for 10 minutes they work out, for 15 minutes they read. You understand me? They say I love you to their sons and daughters. They read stories to them. All of these things are important practices that give gifts to their wives or serve them or their spouses on a regular basis. You understand me? So big up the man them, you know. Big up Jason. Check. You understand me? Trevor Sparks. Blessing every time. You understand me? Esam Tomlinson. You understand me? He says, blessing to you, Mr. Mannings. Cavaliers did well. Hope they will even do better in the return match and get a positive result. True, we're going to discuss that, and I want to hear from some of you. We have already, reached out to Mr. Speed. I figured they are traveling back today. It was a very hectic. They probably were up late last night, so it's probably going to be a little difficult, but we are hoping that we can have him. But knowing Mr. Speed, I don't know. When Mr. Speed and a high, you understand me? You don't want to, we don't want to talk to nobody, because he's a man like that too, you understand me? So when things are going on up and up, him to remember the grassroots people them, you understand? Because man is gonna be real some of the time. A lot of things, a lot of things. I will say this: there's a lot of things that these YouTube platforms across Jamaica or Jamaican operated YouTube platforms have helped to highlight many things and bring about many changes. But a lot of the people who do them don't get a lot of credit. And when those things are done, the people forget sometimes that it was on these platforms that notoriety and publicity, whatever it is, was given to some of these things. And so people have bought into them. And people need to in turn come and say, well, me have to big up. I think a lot of people need to do that, especially in football, where a lot of coverage and track and field, where a lot of things have been given light to. And then when people have success, the story in the Bible about these people that the Lord had done good for, only one of them came back to say thanks. A lot of people don't come back and say, boy, I have to give thanks to YouTube and the vloggers for what they have done. It was so good to hear Siobhan Peart. You understand me? In the press conference in Miami, representing the 876 stream, asking questions. That's very good to see. You understand me? We only heard about the Gleaner and we heard about Siobhan Peart, boss. Siobhan Peart and the Gleaner, with all of the other big media houses out there. Siobhan Peart, you two started right here. You understand me? Work on one call center still in about every now and then him take a little time off and him call in and him sit down and him buy him equipment, them create thumbnails for the reggae boys and thing and work with Simon. A lot of these things. You understand me? We love to see that. We love to see the progression. We see you like Balakar now, coaching a team. You understand me? You look on the match card, you see Balakar name on it. You understand? Because many people help Balakar and push him and say him should get in coaching and give him advice. Same thing with Unseen. You understand me? Same thing with Cavaliers. A lot of the things with Cavaliers and Speed, people have grown fond of Mr. Speed because a lot of the things on YouTube. I'm telling you. So we have to always remember where we're coming from, never burn the bridges. Don't burn the bridges, because sometimes we have to tread on those former paths, those former pathways. So we need to remember that we don't burn the bridges that has helped us to cross over many troubled waters. Yeah? All right. So, yeah, man. So, lots to cover today. We will be having some guests on, if not now, right now, but a little later, we will be having guests on the program. Again, remember, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share. All right, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And sometimes it's tough for the YouTubers, So, like me, I've decided that I'm just gonna do my shows and kind of don't try to help except what I used to do personal, because sometimes the very people that in the beginning of a process, and this is kind of funny because in the beginning of a process, all of us work together. And then by the time it reaches to the end where some level of success is reached, it's almost like you become a problem to the people you're working with to help. I'm telling you. So sometimes when those things happen, you have to be introspective. You have to, you have to look at the picture again and reassess, you understand me, and evaluate and then move on. All right? Yeah, man. So big up all of the GSD members, them on know yourself, bless up on yourself. You understand me? Yep. It was good to see like Kerry James was at the game. Well, him is an Inter Miami fan, and always there on Inter Miami. Dre Anyweather was there as well. Dre Anyweather, big up yourself, boss, man. The 299 boss, bless up yourself. You understand me? Yeah. I saw Kai McLean, look like he was at the game as well. I saw Valney Brown. You understand me? Jamaicans them go support Cavalier still with the Jamaican flags, because that's a good thing. Last night, one of the things that I was happy to see that regardless of how people feel about Speed, they went to support Cavaliers. And that's good because a lot of the people may not be very fond of Rudolph Speed, but a Jamaican team was playing. And even if they're Inter Miami fans because they're from Miami, they still wore their Jamaican jerseys and took their Jamaican colors just to represent. And so we know that, even in the worst of us, man, there is good in us, I'm telling you, So big up to all the fans who went out, even though you're probably Inter Miami fans, even though you have never really supported Cavaliers, even while you were in Jamaica, you still went out yesterday and you watch Cavaliers because it's a Jamaican team and it represents, they represent the wider Jamaica. And I think that was one of the biggest things to come out of it. For the most part, even when you listened on the YouTube, right? When you listen on YouTube, a lot of people were supporting Cavaliers. Even the people who call Speed corrupt, even the people who said that there is conflict of interest, all of those persons were supporting Cavaliers, right? But let me give you some of my take. So that's one of my takeaway, just the widespread support of Cavaliers. So let me give you some other thing. Now, many people, I must give credit to Soldier. Where's Soldier there? Because me know say Soldier plan to call me, because, all right, before I get to Soldier, let me say this, all right? So, remember, big event at Manning's High School on the 22nd, Yeah, man, the 22nd of March here. Yeah, man, big things are going on. They have managed, watch this. They have managed to secure the game, Remember, they were telling us about the other game, which is the game between the Jamaica Fire Brigade and the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So that game has been secured. That game is at 1 p.m. And then you'll have the Manning's school team taking on the Frome High School team. And then you have the game between the class of the 1978 Elron Cup champions, right? They will be going up against Farmer Reggae Boys. That event is at the Manning School on the 22nd of March 2025. You understand me? Go and support them. Show them some love. Admission is $1,500 for adults, right? $500 for kids. There's a VIP era, which is $2,000. Yeah. So make sure you go and support them. All the proceeds from this will go towards the sports department at the school. That's March 22nd. So big up to the organizers of this. You have heard the story, so go and support them. All right. Now, let's come back to the game, because I think a lot of people, including me, we figured that Cavalier, like I thought, like Cavaliers would have sat back, which is what they did. And like Mr. Speed said in his interview, that they weren't counter-attacking, right? That's not what they were playing. And you listen what he said? They were playing in transition, which is different from counter-attack. He says that we were playing the transition game. Worked very well for them, right? And I think, especially in that first half, some of those balls that were played across to the right, where Calvin had some one-on-one, I figure if they had like a more, I think Calvin did a lot of running, but I don't think it was his best game, because he never won any of his one-on-one battles. And many times when he got the ball, he went into some channels. Not going to beat them, big stage. He was up against a good, at one time, Frey on the left and thing, because Inter Miami kind of transition between a back three and a back, like a back four. All right. So not going to beat him, but I figure like if you had like a Devontae Campbell out there with his skills, they would have created more opportunity with Calvin. And he got a ball like that he right in the box that has felt like he was trying to control it, when I think there you just try to, you make a swing. You're like inside the 6-yard box. You don't have time to take it and pass it and stuff. So I think the transition game applied by Mr. Speed, right, was very, very good. And it does goes to show, and the commentator said that he's one of the only persons with an A license in Jamaica. And you can see that this team was well prepared from a coaching standpoint, because really and truly, if we are being honest, Inter Miami, how many saves, how many meaningful saves did the goalkeeper of Cavaliers make? Like I said, that them under pressure, them a pepper them goal. They didn't really create a lot of you understand me? I didn't think they had Cavaliers under any immense pressure in any phase of the game. So I felt like while they had greater possession, I felt like Cavaliers were in the game for the most part, right? I don't, maybe you disagree with me. Yeah, I felt like Cavaliers were right there with them, right? Yeah. So I don't feel, I mean, they had good possession, and you can see certain qualities in Busquets and Alba and stuff. And, I felt like some of the touches for the Cavaliers play at the beginning of the game were poor. And here's the thing, I learned from that that a lot of times in Jamaica, we get away, the players get away with poor touches. They didn't have that luxury in this game. And at the more at a higher level, you will find that you don't have the luxury of poor and bad touches. That is important. And I think the early stages of the game that affected Cavaliers, I would say, I wouldn't say a whole lot, but it did affect them. So let me show you, um, some of the stats that I have here, for this game, right? Um, yeah. All right. So let me just bring it up so you can see, because I want you to see it, because it didn't, like I said, for me, you don't get from this like, oh my God, man, the man them pepper Cavaliers goal and all of that. It wasn't that kind of a game, though. On the night, Inter Miami got the result, which is the most important thing in football. So a lot of credit must be given to Cavaliers, to how they were shaped defensively. And it is not like they were sitting back defensively, because Christopher Ainsworth he was playing on the left side of defense, and he still had that, but he still went, you see him pushing up a couple of times and things. So here we go. So possessional stat, look at this. All right. 69 Inter Miami, 31 Cavaliers. Big gap, but total shots 12 and 5, right? Shots on target 5, 1. All right, big chance created 1, corners, the one in that completed passes, more than double Cavaliers' own, right? So, yeah, Cavaliers had 4 shots off target, block shots. You see, they had hit the woodwork. I see that. Hold on, I don't understand it. Yeah, I think they have some mistake here, because did Inter hit the woodwork? Because they're having that Inter hit the woodwork. I don't know about that. I believe Cavaliers hit the woodwork. Right? Demo, good to see you, man. Big up yourself. So I would not. So I think they give a good account of themselves. They were very good defensively. I think in the final third, did Inter hit the woodwork? Oh, yeah. They hit the top of the bar. That goal that was scored, I think, are one of those. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I would not say Cavaliers dominated the game. I don't believe they had the better of the play. I think their objectives were met, which is let them keep the ball. But when Cavaliers got the ball, they were quick in the transition game. And I think if they were more clinical and they were better in their final passes, they would have done a whole lot. Like I said, I felt like if they had like a Devontae Campbell in the position that Calvin found himself to take on defenders one-on-one, especially in that first half, like a player of Devontae Campbell ilk would be able to create some more opportunities. But I'm not beating Calvin. I didn't believe he had the best of game. This probably showed him up that he still has a lot to work on. I think also Stein did not have the best of game. I think of the players going forward. I think Busy did well in the game. I also think, like, I don't know, I've been watching Adrian Reed, good young player. I've been watching him, but I feel like he has a lot of potential as a young player. But I think his ability to make the simpler passes, and he plays at a slow pace. And I think he needs to work on that, because he was guilty of too many poor passes. Right? I felt like Shamar Watson came on and did well. And I noticed like Dwayne Allen, for example, he had the task of kind of manning Sergio Busquets. And but you know, those players, they will always have their moments in the game. I felt like the goalkeeper, like, I don't know, I kind of felt like the goalkeeper wasn't as assured as he should have been, you know, in the game as well. I thought King had an excellent game. And when I say excellent game, what I mean by excellent game, I mean that just that the way that he led the team defensively, he did very well. He led them very well. Geez, Leng, we have said this on this channel before. One of the things that Leng will have to do is work on his game, because he always have this one mistake in him. Not every time it leads to a goal or a card, but even in the JPL, he has this one lapse mentally. This time it led to a goal. But if you watch the JPL, almost every single game that Leng plays, he at some point makes an error. And they lead to goals many times for Cavaliers or him getting card. But he had a I can't even beat him, because up to that point, man, he made some, he was very, very good. Very, very good. Right? I thought Christopher Ainsworth did well. The new signing Ritger, I thought he was excellent as well. He played very well. The Haitian that came on, he did well. I think Over played well as well. So in all, it was a good performance and excellent coaching by Rudolph Speed. Like I said, the way he set up his team, I think given the conditions at the National Stadium, they may work in favor of Cavaliers. Whether or not they can get 2 goals, well, they created enough opportunities to score 2 goals, right? So it will be interesting to see, you know, how it is that if they score, they have to, first thing they have to do is that you cannot allow Inter Miami to score. They cannot, because the away goal rule is in effect in this competition, right? So what they have to do is to score 2, and if they score 2, it goes straight to penalty. So if Cavaliers win by 2 goals, there's no extra time. It goes straight to penalty, right? All right. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take some of your comments, and like I said, you can call in. But let me just begin with this one from JPL fan. Yeah, I felt like the changes took a little bit, because Cavaliers started making changes, I believe, after Inter made their 5 changes. Right? The other Jamaican that was there, Frey, I thought he had a good game. I think in the first half, they were giving they were double teaming on the side that Ainsworth was, and he kind of got the run on the inside a couple of times. But in the second half, I think Ainsworth stood up and did excellent in the game. But the substitution, if there was anything that I would have knocked Mr. Speed for in the game, was that I felt like his substitution, they took a little bit too long to come on, because I felt like the team was low on energy after the first 15 minutes of the first half. All right? Yeah. So people, go ahead. You understand me? Hit the like button. And those of you who have a thought, a comment on the game, you can call in. We're going to speak to some of the decisions that were made in the game as well. But you can call in and give your thoughts. I think we have like 20-something likes on the video. Not good. Okay, I just see it at 37. Not good. So let us hit the like button. It's the least that you can do as we watch the show. All right? Yeah. So let's look at a couple of calls that were made in the game. All right. So kudos again to Cavaliers and to Mr. Speed, to all the players, because there are many people who in the day, I think with the exception of Solji, but there are many people who said that Cavaliers would not get less than 4. And if they get 4, that would be good performance. Right? So first, we have to say big up to them, because in terms of that, they would have surpassed those people's expectation. And even I was saying that, boy, people, Soji was saying the ball is round, and I'm saying that, like, you remember I use the example. So while I did not say the 4 thing, I will say that, listen, the performance, well, let me say the performance itself surprised me. So even if it was 3, and they played the same way, because like the goal, both goals were like what the second one was just a mistake by Leng. The first goal, there are persons who are convinced that the ball went out. I don't think the angle that I see the play from, it's hard to determine that the ball was out. All right? And I think football needs to change. I think with the exception of corners, throw-ins, or free kicks, are those things, during play, if a player is off the field and touch the ball, it should be given as out of bounds. I didn't give any score prediction, CC. Let me say it again. Because this player, no part of the player's body was on the field when he played the ball. I don't think. I think football needs to look at that rule. Just like in cricket, if you're outside and touch it, just like in track and field, if you're out of your lane and get disqualified. If your body is totally off the field and you touch the ball, it should be ruled as outside. However, like I said, that is not the rule, so that cannot be contended. I will also say that from the angle that I have seen it, I cannot say definitively that it was out. I can't say definitively, like, yes, it was out, it was absolutely out. All right? So that's with the Inter goal. Let's come to the Cavaliers offside. Now, what they're saying is the player who tried to head the ball was in an offside position. All right? Not King on the back post, but the player who jumped to head the ball. That is the player that was ruled offside. Right? And from the shot that I saw, it looks like it looked like when the ball was coming in, the player whose hand was in an offside position, the hand cannot be used to score a goal. Right? So that means you'd have to find some other part of his body that was in an offside position. Or is he interfering with play? You can't help me with the rule if you're a referee, you understand it. So watch this. So the referee and the linesman gave goal. They gave goal. The team celebrated, the linesman ran up, right? They gave goal. Bam. So they gave a goal. But he wanted to check, so he asked the VAR. Now, again, this is my understanding of how VAR is implemented or how it's supposed to work. Is that where there's a clear and obvious error. Clear and obvious. Now, given the time that they had to take, this is my opinion, I don't believe that it was clear and obvious. That's one. All right. Number two, this is my opinion. Number two, when they checked it, in my opinion, the fact that they had to still ask the on-field official to look at the camera to determine my question, what? Was it to determine? Because if it was clear and obvious that it was offside, they would not ask him to go and check anything. They would have just ruled offside. So obviously, it was clear and obvious to them. And they needed the opinion of the on-field referee, so they put the decision back on him. Now, what I would like to know, and this is why sometimes hearing what is happening is important. Is he saying that the player touched the ball and was in an offside position? Is that what it is he's saying? Is it that the player was interfering with play because it wasn't on the first phase that the ball, because the player would have been interfering when the ball came across to the back post. When the ball came back across, the player was not in an offside position, was not interfering when the goal was scored. So it is very, very complicated. Like, how is VAR applied? And I know Jason is saying that. Let me just get this clear now. So you're saying, Jason, remember, I know. Let me ask. So every goal that is checked, every goal that is scored is checked by VAR? I don't believe so. I don't believe every goal is checked by VAR. I would have to see that in a rule, that every goal that is scored in football where there's VAR now is checked by VAR. So every single goal in the Premier League that is scored, no, I just think that it is goals that you see outside or foul, or I don't think every goal is checked. I don't think so. Some goals are clear. A man get a free kick and kick it in the back of the net. What would VAR be checking? So I don't think every goal is checked. Check for. I'd have to see that though. I'm not going to run it down. I would have to see the rule. Like, what sense would it make if a man has a penalty and the penalty scores, or he has a free kick and he curls it into the back? What would they be checking for? No. So what I'm saying is that if a man has a free kick is given. Adamers. So all right. So here's what I'm saying. Yeah, just hear me out. Yeah. All right. All right, people. Here's what I'm saying. So I get a free kick. You're not checking the foul. You're checking the free kick. Right? It's a free kick. There's a wall. And I curl the ball around the wall into the back of the net. What is VAR checking for? That's what I'm asking. Somebody have to check to what? What are they checking for? So I get a free kick. The ball, what do we mean by checked? So you're saying that every time a goal is scored, VAR says to the referee, like we saw last night, hold on, let us check if it is a goal. I do not believe that is what it means. What I know is that the referees even have goal line technology that says that is a goal. Maybe that is a part of the VAR. But I don't see why they would check certain goals. I don't think the VAR official says, okay, that free kick is a goal. So, Jason Guna, explain to the people. Explain to the people then. Come in.
So yes, every if VAR is in play in a match, every time the ball goes into the goal and a team scores, the VAR room does check the entire a foul that might have happened. They might be checking for anything. On the exit, they will still be checking. For example, the team taking the free kick can set their own wall. They'll check if the wall was not set up right. a player might be in an offside position that is deemed to have shielded the keeper in some way. They'll check that and make sure none of that happens. So no matter what goal score, they check everything. They check everything. Now, we as fans that are watching the game, it might not be as obvious that it was checked, but they are all checked.
Okay. So, given the game last night, right? Was the player offside because he touched the ball or because he was interfering with play?
Yes, the referee's interpretation would have been that McCleary, who was offside, when he jumped to attempt to flick on the ball or head it towards the goal, he made an honest attempt at the ball. Now, the wording of the rule is a bit weird because it says that is something that is down to interpretation. So a lot of times in football, the rules that are cause the most problems is anytime it's open to interpretation. So there's not another set of refs could have looked at that same play and deemed that, no, that ball was too high for McCleary. So even though he jumped and attempted to get it, I don't think he couldn't get it. But I think what happened that hurt McCleary and Cavalier was when you saw the replay at first, it looked like they were just checking to see if he touched the ball. So that would mean that he came pretty close to touching the ball, would it not?
Yeah, but
okay.
Yeah, man.
So if we agree that he came close to it, then the interpretation of the rule saying that he made an honest attempt, it would have fit that criteria, which is why I think he was called offside.
All right. So is there anything in VAR that says it must be a clear and obvious error? Or that is for specific rulings?
A clear and obvious error. That's another thing that I think has hurt VAR in its application, that wording, because if a player is offside, like McCleary was indeed offside, I think we can all agree that McCleary was offside, right?
Exactly my point, because that's what I want to get to, that why would the VAR people ask because remember VAR give you a line and all of those things they can look at different angles.
Mm-hmm.
What reason would they send it back? Because if VAR had said to the referee offside and he put up his hand, I would be okay, My issue with it is why would the referee need to go and, because I've never seen that before, But go ahead.
I don't know if when they were talking about the play, he couldn't word it in a way where the ref didn't have to see the play to understand what he was saying. I think that might have been what happened. But I think why Cavalier and all of us feel aggrieved by it was in an offside call, it is pretty much unparalleled and unprecedented that the ref on the field would go to look. That is always handled by the video assistants in their room.
Exactly.
So I think because what happened was so unprecedented, it looks like some foul play could have occurred. But again, if you read the laws of the game of offside, I could see how the referee would interpret that McCleary made an honest attempt to play that ball.
All right.
Because we were kind of thinking he might have even touched it. So if it was that close, then we can't turn around and say he didn't make an attempt on the ball because he was very close to actually touching it.
All right. Because here's the other point now, Jason. When I think in the EPL, so I don't know if this applies across the board. In the EPL, they had adjusted the offside, and they spoke about the part of you from the jersey sleeve downward, because if that part of your hand were to touch the ball, it would not be ruled as a goal. So therefore, if your hand
the red line, his hand was further than his shoulder. But if you look at the red line that was drawn, it is a line drawn from his shoulder down to the ground.
And that had him offside?
Correct, because if the ball hits his shoulder and goes in, it's going to be a goal.
But I felt like the line caught the end of the sleeve coming down, and maybe because because he had on the long sleeve thing underneath it. Because I feel like the part of his hand that was offside was not the part of his hand that if it scored a goal, it should have stood.
Well,
which is why
we just disagree there, because I didn't think that there was any foul play with the red line drawing. I didn't see that. I thought he was leaning forward. Yes, there were parts of his body that was even further past the red line, and it was drawn from his shoulder.
Which part of his body? No, man. It's just really I can say the shoulder. I don't know.
Yeah, the point where there's your shirt have a sleeve and then there's a part where the sleeve stop.
Right.
Yes. So from that part where the sleeve stop and it starts to go to your shoulder now, that is what I saw drawn down from to the red line. So I didn't have any issue with the lines drawn. Again, the problem was it was unprecedented for the on-field ref to have to go over to look at an offside call. That is something that normally he would just get a signal and then they would say it's offside or a goal.
All right, so
that is why there's a big uproar, I think, more than any other reason. Also, one other thing, people need to understand that rule that deems a player offside when he's attempting to play a ball, it does not have to interfere with another player. So I hear people saying he attempted to play the ball, but it didn't interfere with anything. That's irrelevant. You can be deemed offside for interfering, for blocking, or for making an honest attempt on the ball. Whether or not that affects the defense at all, it can be deemed as such. And that's why I say, because it's open for interpretation, these things will always, if you are rooting for a team, like if that happened to Arsenal, I'll be cussing. I would still say it's the letter of the law, but I'd still be upset. But I think that wording needs to be fixed a bit because anytime there's open for interpretation, then you have.
I honestly believe, right? Like, here's my position. You see, if the people in the VAR booth said offside and the referee said offside, I am good. That is my biggest issue. That offside, you're either offside or not. And they have the line because I am not sure when that referee goes to the booth to look, he has all of those different.
When we had the incident in the Copa America, at some point the audio came out, which was very helpful. So I'm hopeful that CONCACAF will release the audio of the conversation, because I think I would need to understand why they felt it was necessary for the on-field referee to go and look. Like, what was the disagreement, or what was being said? Because I think that's very important to the conversation, to find out whether or not it was really foul play or something going on that shouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying?
Foul play as in the player was impeding somebody?
No. Foul play and in terms of the referees.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. And then many people are asking, so why didn't the VAR kind of have the same level of thoroughness in that ball that looked like it went outside? Seeing that in the eyes of people, that wasn't clear and obvious.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know because I know, like, when the ball goes over the goal line, I have seen them put that graphic where you see where the ball was, right? And I have heard in the past that at some times when VAR is in use, that technology does not extend all the way to the corner flag. So I am assuming that they didn't have the technology all the way to the corner flag, so it would have had to have been, I guess, just by eyesight, they would have gotten that call. Which then, it's just, obviously, if it's your team, you're going to say the ball is out. If you're cheering for the other team, you're going to say the ball is in. I hear a lot of people mentioning Suarez's positioning as a player off the field, which is irrelevant. A player can be standing off the field and stretch out his leg and keep a ball in. So that, I don't think his position where he ended up is really relevant to if the ball was out or not. I think what went against Jamaica in that moment
Cavaliers.
Sorry, well, I'm Jamaica by extension. but what went against Cavalier in that moment is that, like I said, I don't think they had the technology to show where that ball was comparison to the goal line. Now, obviously, if it was inside the perimeter of the goal itself, they would have had that technology. But I don't know if you remember that play when Germany played Japan in the World Cup, and some people said it was out, some said it was in. They did actually, in that World Cup, have the technology, so you got to see, clearly that the ball was actually really in. But without that technology, I don't know how that play can happen, and you say, yeah, it's definitely out or definitely in. Obviously, as Cavalier fans who want the team to do better than they did last night in terms of the result, we're going to lean towards it being a robbery. I think the bigger robbery was them not getting a penalty when the ball struck the player's hand in the box. I think that was the biggest robbery of the game, that Cavalier didn't get a penalty. Forget who played the crossing, but Allen, the guy who came off the bench, he hit it off his side, it bounced up into his hand, and apparently they said that it was in a natural position. I thought that was foolishness. That should have been a penalty. And of all the calls last night, I think that was the biggest robbery.
All right.
Personally.
I see some people challenging the comments. It's very strange. I looked at, because I said to someone today in the next group, when I look at the Miles Kelly versus PSV, where I think he should have gotten a second yellow. All right.
Yes, could have easily gotten that one.
Because the referee actually gave the foul.
Mm-hmm.
He gave the foul. All right. So is that up to the referee's discretion, or the
absolutely?
Which is the problem?
There's no letter of a law for a yellow card. There's no letter of the law for a yellow card. That is literally one of the biggest things that cause problems in football, because there really is no letter of the law besides like time wasting or, pulling a jersey from behind when it's a counter. Those are things that you kind of see happen and they get a yellow almost every time. But when it's just a challenge like that on from a player on another player, that's all down to interpretation of the referee.
Isn't there also a rule that says if in the lead up to a goal, the ball touches your hand, the goal will not stand?
Yes, that is true.
All right.
And again, when you're asked about why would every goal be checked, that's what they're looking for. Did the ball touch anybody on their hand?
So you remember Cavaliers basically appealed when Ainsworth kind of leaned down and Suarez was trying to pass him. The ball hit on the leg of him.
Ricocheted
on Suarez's hand. On Suarez's hand.
Are you saw it hit hand?
Well, from where I look, I would similar to what happened in the box.
The camera angle we got, Suarez's back was to us. So I don't know how you would have seen where it hit from the angle we got.
His back, no man, it's we're looking across. It's same thing with the hand in the box,
I'm saying he's all right. So look, from the angle we got, they're going.
It would be on his right hand. So it would be on his right hand.
And I'm saying his right hand was obscured based on our view. We didn't get a look from the other side. We never saw that. So I don't know how you could have seen what we saw on the camera and know it's a handball. How?
Oh, well, by the movement, it's the same thing with the one in the box,
No, but it could have easily hit his chest. We couldn't see where it hit because we didn't see that side.
Here a man in the stadium say, in the stadium we saw it clear.
Well, if I would take the word of a person in the stadium more, because they could have been on another angle. I am saying from what I saw on the television, I could not see where it hit on his body. I just saw the ball ricochet and go towards our goal.
And then you stop. But the one in the box, Jason, is the same thing, We say it's a penalty, And what I think is that they were just being consistent.
I can feel more confident saying that because I saw it. I didn't see the Suarez one. I just saw Cavalier appeal. So I would be lying if I said, yes, it is. I didn't see it. And I don't know if you watch the game on the same footage that I saw, never would know.
I think the Suarez one, to me, the movement. Triple C didn't show.
It could have easily hit his chest as well, man.
Yeah, that is true. I will not contend that could happen. But based on the fact that the ball kind of ricocheted, right? And didn't go past him, but he still kept possession of the ball. Said to me the ball hit on something on the right side of his body. And that could have been his hand.
It could have been his right pectoral muscle.
True.
It could have been his right shoulder.
But it wasn't checked.
We don't definitively know.
Why wasn't it checked?
But why are you saying it wasn't checked?
Because we didn't see any replay. We weren't seeing.
So we have to see the replay for it to know if it's checked or not.
But why did they do that with the offside?
That's the same reason why you didn't know that VAR is checked for every goal.
No.
Because they don't always show it on the broadcast, but it is checked.
Listen what I'm saying though. Look at how thorough they were with the offside, to the point where they even looked at the camera. The referee had to come and look at the camera. This now, the players appealed.
What is strange, Manins, and I will agree with you, is why was it that when Cavalier goal was scored, did you see? I saw it from a drone camera, I saw it from a behind camera, in front, sideways. When Inter Miami scored their 2 goals, how many replays did we see as the viewers on TV? Like, I would say 25% of the amount of replays. So why is it that I agree, it looked as if the VAR scrutinized Cavaliers way more than the 2 times Inter Miami scored. That is a fact. I will agree with that. Because the time that it took was way shorter, and they didn't show the viewers all the things VAR was looking at like they did with the Cavalier
With
goal.
the Cavaliers.
Because I saw Cavalier goal replayed like 25 times. It was way less for when Inter Miami scored their 2 goals.
It took around 6 minutes.
I think the first one especially should have been just as scrutinized, especially when you factor in, all the things that happened leading up to the goal. The ball hitting the bar, Suarez, the people thinking the ball went out. There could have been a handball shout when Busquets got close to the ball. It kind of bounced up into the air close to his hands. It could have checked that. There was a lot of things that could have happened. And that is what I think the officials will have to answer to. Why was the one team's goal scrutinized so much more than the other team?
Yeah, I always wonder why just the Jamaican teams with a club or stuff, whenever they officiate, and I need to know who is in charge of referees in the English-speaking Caribbean, because I remember from that World Cup qualifying game where I think Taxi was or Damien, one of those guys against the USA, when the Antiguan referee, really and truly, when I don't see referees from the English Caribbean speaking nations officiating a lot of these games, because everyone in the VAR was Mexican.
Well, why do you think that happens though, man? Look at
that's what I'm saying. Maybe we don't have enough.
Look at the representation of teams in this competition. Sometimes a lot of the American referees are Hispanic anyway, so it might even be an American referee. We think him come from Mexico.
Yeah. And I'm saying that maybe we need to find out what is the percentage of referees though.
But the referee representation has more to do with how many teams that actually compete at a higher level in CONCACAF speak English. Most of those teams are probably reffing the games in the Caribbean Shield and all of these other competitions.
Okay, so what you mean? So they have to use like Spanish speaking or bilingual. Okay.
They're gonna use the best officials, and typically those officials in Guatemala, Costa Rica, Honduras, their leagues have a little bit higher level in terms of how much money is being spent and the fans and the pressure. All of these things factor in. So if a referee is reffing, more than likely, if you look at the percentages of referees who have the qualifications to ref a game of this magnitude, it's probably a higher percentage of them that speak Spanish. And I don't think it's like a thing that it happens because they're trying to fight against anybody. I think there's just more referees to choose from that speak Spanish in CONCACAF.
And listen, there was a time when you had like Clayton Solomon, I think his name was, Peter Prendergast.
Trendy, yeah, man.
All right, and then you had these guys from Trinidad, like Trinidad around 4.
Trinidad as well.
Yes, I'm saying that I'm not. Maybe they are officiating other games, but I'm talking just even from youth football.
No, but if you look at like Arnett Dance playing in that Shield competition, a lot of their refs were from St. Vincent, St. Kitts, Antigua. But I think as the competitions get bigger and the more prize money is bigger and everything, they tend to use the referees that are probably more familiar with VAR, more familiar with reffing games of these magnitudes. So it kind of eliminates some of those smaller Caribbean nations who would speak English, I think.
Yeah.
I think that goes against them probably. And it's just a numbers game, man. There are just more Spanish speaking referees reffing at a higher level than English speaking, I would think. I mean, I haven't done any research, but I would think that would be true.
Yeah. All right, what time is the show this evening? Big match this weekend?
Yes, big match this weekend. We're going over to the stadium of the opposition team dreams. So hopefully it works out.
The stadium of leaks.
Old pilot, you know.
Not going there with you, no boss, but I will say leaks.
But yeah, big up all the people in the chat, and trust me, I mean, look, we have reasons to be aggrieved and feel aggrieved, but I'm telling you, people, based on the letter of the law, the offside, it was a good call. It's a rough call, it hurts, but it was the right call. It was the right call.
Well, look, Damien says the conspiracy theories are nonsense. Inter Miami did not benefit from any refereeing decision. Cavaliers were unlucky but they did not put away their half chances.
But Mannings, you know how we are. We just had an Olympics final where the thing was down to the hundredth of a second, thousandth of a second.
And we lose
And
out.
on that, and we lose out, and people still say, "What a thief, them thief." So that's how we stay sometimes, brother. Even somebody that come and explain something, and even if it connect in your brain, and you say, "Yeah, man, that makes sense," it's still gonna feel like we get teeth. So that's how we stay sometimes, and it's the nature of being a fan.
Yeah, but you know that it is like there's always this feeling though, and I feel that way sometimes in the Premier League, right? That when there are marginal calls, I think like some teams benefit more than others. I don't know.
Well,
And
look,
maybe it's not so, but that's how I feel.
They have pointed to stats where it says, based on VAR decisions, this team would have this amount of points, and somehow Arsenal are always at the top of the table there. But look, I would like to think that for the most part, it's not a big conspiracy, and it's humans doing these decisions at the end of the day, and they must get them wrong sometimes. I just feel like in this particular instance, the only thing that I would have an issue with is the time that it took to look at the goals, because it seems as if Cavalier's goal was a bit more heavily scrutinized than the others that were scored. And that's the only thing I take issue with.
All right, big up yourself. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, big up to the chat.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, so there you go. That was Jason Guna TV. Check him out later, You understand me? Yeah. Yeah, all right, Colin CC, have a lot to say. Oh, my Lord. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to get a referee. I have to get a referee on the program to kind of help us to understand some of these things, because I felt like, and maybe VAR did look at them, because we don't know what they look at and what they don't look at. But I kind of felt like there was this time spent to ensure that the right decision was made, really Cavalier's goal. I don't think the same sort of scrutiny was there with the other goals. But I mean, could Cavaliers benefit from playing on a stadium pitch that is not as pristine as where they played in Miami? Full stadium. And I hope that the people are going to the game, not going there to shout for Busquets and Luis Suarez, but they're going out there to support Cavaliers, because we can have a full stadium, and the fans them are shout for Busquets and say Busquets a big baller, and not shouting for Cavaliers. But we have a next call online. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mannings. Like, the thing what I try to understand is how we sit down, we all sat or stood and watch this game, right? And don't see that the calls that the referee made, right, or the scrutiny towards the game with certain calls weren't unjust. Right?
You're saying that hold on. What you're saying is that they weren't unjust?
Yeah, as far as like the scrutiny towards the calls for the second goal, right? VAR wasn't involved at all. Based on what we were seeing.
Well, what Jason is saying is that every goal is checked, so VAR was involved. Based on what Jason is saying, because he's saying every goal is checked by VAR. So even the second goal, what he's saying is that VAR would have checked it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much time they spent looking at to whether or not the ball touched Suarez's hand. That is what we don't know.
Yeah. And all right, so for the first goal, right? Yeah. For the first goal, what happened there? Because we don't know if the ball went out or not. Even if you watch the Fox highlights, they don't even show the second goal, the first goal. Right? Even the highlights, they don't even show it. So you can go and check on Fox.
They don't show the highlight of what? Of the Cavaliers' goal?
Of the first goal of Inter Miami.
Really?
No, they don't show it. Right? I watched it probably like 20 minutes ago. They didn't show it. right? And this is the thing that I don't understand about the Jamaican players. Sometimes I think the occasion they might be in, they're a bit nervous as far as the captains. The captains need to be more active as far as asking the referees whether they speak English or not. What was that called? Even at the international level, it's the same thing.
But Richard King and Busquets and the referee were standing in the center of the circle having dialogue, though. I wouldn't say that because, he was right there.
I'm talking for the second goal, not for the Cavaliers offside.
Okay.
Right? So, because I've seen where Jamaica play before, and like with certain calls, the other captain for the other team, they're asking the referee, yo, what kind of call that? You understand? But we don't do that. You understand? So the players need to put more pressure on the referees, I think. I could be wrong. But sometimes we're just too quiet. You understand what I'm saying? And we don't understand like how we really watch that game, certain calls, and don't think that, hey, this is unfair. This is a rap.
All right, hold on, don't hang up, Fabian. So let me say this, Dave. Big up, preacher. What I would say to you, right? It took a longer time because it was a marginal offside call. I am saying where it comes on to offside. To me, you are either offside or not. My thing is the best person to decide that, given the fact that they have the lines, are the people in the VAR room. Even if you are marginal, the man in the VAR room is better able, having cameras, different shots to look at, to make that decision. I have a problem. I have a problem with you saying it is marginal, because outside is outside. I have a problem with that because remember, the on-field referee did not say offside. So as far as he's concerned, it's a legit goal. They check it. The VAR people drew their line. Let's go by what Jason said. From his shoulder up was in an offside position. So he has to say to the referee, offside, argument done. There is no need. There's no need to ask the referee to go and look if it is offside. He's already determined that the player is offside. That is my argument, you know.
It's the first time I've ever seen where an on-field referee have to go check to see
after VAR
if a goal was offside or not. After VAR. That's their final decision. So what, like, that's confusing.
No, but this, all right, so you're saying that they wasn't checking if the player was offside. He was checking if the player interfered with play. No, but, no, this is not where I'm challenged. So, the reason why they didn't give the goal is because there was thoughts of offside. Whether he's interfering with play or not is secondary, you know, because he's offside.
Exactly.
It's secondary. He's offside. So once they say the player is offside, the goal should have been called back. There you go.
Exactly. Like I was watching the game last night, and you know,
but I don't believe it was. I don't believe it is no conspiracy theory, though. You know, I just think I don't believe that is. I don't believe it's conspiracy theory. I think it is. It's just the way of football. I think Arsenal got away with a call in Champions League. Yeah. Yeah, understand me.
Anyways, we don't work on it.
Yeah, big up yourself. Big up yourself. Yeah, but
all right. So,
yeah. Well, I agree that I don't think. Okay, all right. So miracle, which is true, you can be offside but not interfering with play. Remember now, this ball is coming across the area. Like Jason said, you can be standing and you're shadowing. You can be all those things. So if you're in that position, you don't need the on-field referee to determine if the player is interfering with play, because the ball is coming across the path. Even if McCleary didn't jump, he's in an offside position and a goal was scored. So if he didn't jump and he was still leaning in an offside position, it could be still be viewed as interfering because he prevented the next player from being in the space. Even if he never jumped. It could be still viewed as interfering. Even if you stand in front of the goalkeeper and you're still and you don't move and the ball score, they are saying that you're blocking. So it's either offside or not. The VAR people. The VAR people. Like I said, the controversy for me is the VAR officials should not have sent it back to the on-field official. That is my issue. You see this is where we're getting controversial, you know. It is clear the player was interfered. So why, if it is clear, why did they go to the on-field referee? Get the point of me, I mean, no? If it was fair, why did they go to the, like, this is it. If it, one man saying it is marginal, and next man saying it is clear. Cavalier, there was, listen, not because mistakes are made mean that you're a rob still. Me not agree with the robbing business. All right. No man is man. VAR check for offside. They took long to get the line. The line correct? No, the line came up. No, the coming up. The line coming up to determine that was that was the fastest part of the process. The ref was called to check if the player interfered with the play. So you're saying that VAR cannot say the player in an offside position was interfering with the play? You're saying that VAR cannot say that? No, I don't agree with that. Preacher, you have to call and talk to me. Leader, we can't take your word. Leader said that he was right at the field and the ball was out. CC, the referee that asked a Messi's jersey is on a 6 months ban, boss. Yo, people, even on the upset, we have to talk the truth, you know. The referees in the game were not, none of these referees asked for Messi jersey. Oh my God. These are different referees, CC, and that referee is suspended. Oh, so I tell about them to say some things, you know. I have to wonder, you know. Oh my Lord. Come on, CC, do better than that, man. You can make a valid point, but don't go there. You understand? People, come on, hit the like button. Unseen Stem want to come on the program. I wonder what Unseen want to say, you know. Let's hear what Unseen have to say, you know. Let's hear from him. Yeah, and I was right at the field. What do you mean you were right at the field? So, leader, if you're up at the other goal, you know, you can't stand there and see it, you know, leader. You have to be like, the ball is in the air. And I believe it was out. I believe the ball was out. But, leader, even if you're at the right of the field, you cannot be there without any sort of camera zooming in and determine if all of the ball was out of bounds. You need some very good camera zooming in. But both, isn't it that both Miami goals were disputed? Both of them were disputed. Yes. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show, boss.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
You know, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. Well, I'm not that good, but I'm much better after the performance yesterday.
Yes.
Right. But I just want to say that look here, both Miami goals were disputed, but there's the one that was clearly, I don't know, you haven't seen any of the footage that shows that it definitely was kicked from outside. It was clear as day. You haven't seen it? I'm going to send it to you, man.
Leader, none of the footage that I've seen helps me to say that, because you have to zoom in to know if the entire ball is over the line. I haven't seen footage. So if you have footage, you have to show me how it is zoomed, because you have to zoom it because the ball is in the air. If the ball was on the ground, it would be easier. Hold on, I see Unseen putting up his hand. Go ahead. Listen.
Yes, man, I have a rule. I have a different somebody, a referee sent me this rule. I can't call the referee name. And he's saying to me that play should have been a foul play because the player was outside of the goal line, and that it interfered with play from outside of the goal line. So it should be a foul call based on the rule. So I have the rule here, and I want to read it.
Yes.
All right.
Read the rule.
I want to read it.
Listen to this, leader, because I don't agree with the referee, but let me hear the rules still. Maybe I'm right. Right.
So to understand the situation, it is crucial to distinguish between the ball being in play and player's position. Here's a breakdown. Ball in play. The ball is in play until it completely crosses the boundary line, touch line.
There you go. Argument done. Hold on. No, let me stop you right there, because I want you to read that slowly for the people. The ball is out of play when it's completely outside the boundary lines. Right? That's what it says?
Completely. Yes, that's what it says.
It's off of how, look here, if you see how where he kicked the ball from. Come on.
All right, leader.
Hold on. It's not the ball outside of the outside the line. Make it becomes a
That's
foul
what you
play.
just read. That's what you just read.
No, hold on. I don't finish it, man. Just listen.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that. So the first part talks about the ball in play. No, the ball is in play until it completely crosses the boundary line, touch line, or goal line. Player's position now. All right? A player can be outside the boundary line while the ball is still in play. Here's how that rules apply to your question. If a player is outside the touch line, out of bounds, but the ball is still within the field of play and the player touches the ball, it creates an illegal action. This rule of soccer states that when a player that is out of bounds touches the ball, it is a foul. Therefore, that illegal.
Hold on, slow down. So when a player is out of bounds and touches the ball, it's a foul. So
correct.
Where do players take? Hold on, man. Let me just ask you a question, because you have the rule.
Answer it with reading the rule. Reading the rule.
Yeah.
All right. Therefore, if that illegal touch of the ball then leads to a goal, the goal would most likely be disallowed. Key consideration: referee discretion. The referee has the final say in interpreting the rules and determining whether an offense has occurred.
Let me ask you a question. Where do players take corner from? On the field or off the field?
They
sometimes go outside of the
play goal is stopped. Play is stopped. Just like with a throw.
No. But that. Listen now. You see, Unseen. I think you have misunderstood the rule that you just read. So, listen now. If I am out of bounds, right? So I am out of bounds. I am not in the play, and the ball touches me. That is an illegal play. Suarez is a part of the players that are playing. So here's what I want to do, Unseen. Right? Yes. That is what, because all of these rules in the referee saying have numbers. Where is that?
All right. So I'm gonna look for it now, because I never look for it, which number it is. Remember, say somebody sent it to me and I read it. So I interpret it. So I'm gonna look for it.
Yeah, interpret what the people say. All right. So
there's not much to enter. It is clear. It's clear. I saw the same thing.
Hold on, Paul. Now make it better, Hold on, Paul. Remember, say we are truth and right,
All right.
Truth and right, If man is man right, in terms of him can convince me, say, you understand, we have to work with it.
Because, all right, with a drop, a drop ball. Because this rule is speaking to something else. Let me read this. Player outside the field of play. If a player who requires the referee's permission to re-enter the field of play re-enters without the referee's permission, the referee must stop play, blah, blah, blah. If the referee stop play, it must be restarted. A player who crosses a boundary line as part of a player movement does not commit an offense.
Unless he touches the ball. Once he touches the ball, you can't run outside.
Of course, I can run outside and leader. Me cannot run outside.
Running outside and the ball coming outside, and then you clearing it back in.
No,
leader.
I can run outside to avoid all you. Go outside, and as long as I touch that ball and the ball don't cross the line.
That's the thing. The ball where he was clearly very far behind the line, very far, and for him to touch the ball where his foot was, when he hit the ball with his foot, his foot was still behind the line.
Do you know that a keeper, his body can be off the field, right? And he keeps the ball on the field, and the ball, like if the goalkeeper is in the goal and his legs and hands, everything is, watch this, is off the field. But that ball does not cross the goal line. It's not a goal because he has kept the ball in bounds. What you have to prove to me is that, and maybe you're right, you have to prove to me that the ball is out of bounds, which unseen rule isn't speaking to. And that is what you want. I want you to prove to me, leader. Because what you have to prove is that the ball is out of bounds, not the player. Because the player can be out of bounds. That's why I was saying that the rule need to change. Because in cricket, if you touch the ball out of bounds, it's you can't catch the ball out of bounds. That is why when you see these players, they flip it back inside. The ball that can't happen. You can't touch it. Maybe that's what they need to do in football. That once you're out of bounds, we should have to change how you take corners. Unless they're going to say except for corner kicks and throw-ins and goal kicks and those things. Because there's a lot of play in football where you can be out of bounds and touch the ball. And it is not an infringement. Now, like I said, maybe it was actually out of bounds. Which is what you have to prove. You said you were able to see data.
But management, there is no video or nothing showing that the ball is out of bounds. But what the video shows is the player. The player interfere with the ball outside of the field.
But you can touch the ball. But you can touch the ball outside unseen. Even all right, in this game, right? In this game, Kyle Overy came on. And he had a ball that he was trying to pass the player. Part of his body was out of bounds. And he was still trying to beat the player. It's
but
not
man, remember in reading the rule, you know, it says that if it led to a goal, then the referee can deem it a foul if it leads to a goal. So normally they may make the game play same and don't penalize, but if it leads to a goal, they can consider it as a foul.
If it leads to a goal.
Yes, that's what he says.
I don't. Why I don't know about that unseen. Unseen, there are so many occasions. Like, do you know that people are slide? Have you ever seen like when the ball is going? Leader, you know this. I saw people slide to keep the ball from going out of bounds. When they slide, they are out of bounds, but they have kept the ball inside. So, and it leads to a goal. It is not called back. What they would check to see if the ball was out of bounds, because once the ball out of bounds, even if the player is in bounds and the ball is out of bounds, they're not going to give the goal So I don't think, like, maybe we can prove that the ball was actually out of bounds, and then that would be a completely different argument. Where's leader? You gone?
Leader call you back. Leader call you back, man.
Hello?
Blessed afternoon, man.
Oh, it's not leader. Leader look like him gone. Fabi Frano, welcome to the show. Yes.
Well, my boss. All right, yeah, man. So the worst thing is we never get to watch a game because of training, but watch the highlights. But the Suarez situation where
and they are not they are not rules, they are actually laws of the game. So me just said that.
Yeah. Blessed up unseen, by the way.
Unseen, hold on.
What I'm saying,
sorry, Fabi Frano. Unseen, the people that might ask you, where is that rule found?
So it will come based on researching it.
Research? No, man. Come on, what?
No, man, I forgot IFAB, man. I forgot IFAB.
All right, so I went and typed it into the internet just to get the number. And it
just text back the referee, man.
Not answer, Mr. Me.
No answer. Okay.
No answer. So yeah.
Peso, tell Valdin Legister, management to call me, and Tyrell. Two management them. Tell him to call me now, man. Go ahead, Fabi friend.
Yeah, I'll get fan Legister him, man. I can't like first at you know.
What a rule can. Yeah, when I say the rule concerning the whole outside and a play and all of these business. Bear in mind, you know, that interpretation of the rule is like your interpretation compared to the referee's interpretation and how it's supposed to be interpreted by the laws of the game. Because if Suarez was an active player, it's not like he was a substitute or he got injured and off the pitch and then touched the ball. You get what I mean? He was an active player in the play. So for you guys to say, for Unseen to say, boy, that was illegal. That was a legal play. No, the part now where if the ball goes out or not was very difficult to see. You get me? Because then you have to start look at where the linesman was, if he could have seen that situation. Now, the angle that I saw, it was difficult to tell because the ball was still in the air and the camera was blocked out by Suarez because he was actually standing right on the line. You get what I mean? So it was difficult to tell whether it goes out or not because of the camera angles. You see me? We are not privy to seeing all the angles. That's the first thing. So the angle that I saw, man, it was difficult to tell if it went out or not. So they're going to give the benefit, of course, to the attacking team. So that was very difficult to tell. But with even the offside of the Cavaliers player, man, according to the rule, he's offside. According to the laws of the game, the guy is offside. You get what I mean? But I mean, just sad that we didn't capitalize on the opportunities that we got. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, I was surprised to the amount of opportunities we got. I was so surprised. I mean, compared to when you hear about Inter Miami and how they play in MLS and all of these things that they're playing at home, I am surprised to the amount of opportunities we got. I mean, a small wayward pass, could have made the extra pass in the final third, could have done better in terms of shooting a goal. Those are stuff I think Cavaliers will clean up on. And playing at home, we have a chance, man. Like, it has been a while that we actually, as a Jamaican team, play in a high-level tournament that you're saying, we actually have a chance, we have a chance. And I can tell you, the first goal that scores comes from Cavaliers, it's going to put this team on the back foot. You know what I mean? I think Cavaliers can really take heart from this, and they shouldn't drop the heads. Do not drop your head coming at home. Just lift your head and go hard at these guys. Go hard at them youth. I really believe no, because I said Messi wouldn't play. I believe no, they might take a chance with him. I think they might take a chance with him in this game, in the second leg. So Cavaliers don't drop on head, man. I think he represented well. Zimmy Lifunet continue to play, continue to run at them and play without fear. Zimmy. But a lot of the calls them, you have to realize you're a big team versus small team youth. Never forget that. Big team versus small team, big team are gonna get a whole heap of calls youth. Don't forget that.
All right.
But bless up for the call, boss.
All right then, Fabi friend. We have a next one. Unseen. We soon get back to you, Unseen. Let's just take this one from Parish Council. Then I'm going to get a referee.
Blessings, man.
Yes, Member of Parliament. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, man. I want Parish Council in I bill.
Yeah.
Vote for me. Why? You have a call back when Mr. Speed for your program after this big hooray and big Now a few burning issues in the morning. I'm not sure if now is the appropriate time. So, because I'm not sure, I'm going to hold off on it. But what I would like to say is, last night would have been the first since me watch Cavaliers that I became a fan of Cavalier, a supporter on that day, not overall. But under normal circumstances, any team where I play Cavaliers, me tend to support the other. I'll be honest with you. Yesterday was the first me I say, boy, really I give the team my support. And not just because it's a Jamaican team, because say we're not biased, but more so the discipline and the approach that they took and the manner in which they played the game last night. It was very impressive. And if you listen to the commentator, he was very complimentary of the team, individuals, and most of all the coach. They said a lot of good things about Rudolph Speed, which it does make you feel proud to know that this is somebody who you share conversations with through social media and stuff like that, right? But nobody had expected a good performance.
No,
And
well, I will say, to be fair, let me just stop you. I have to say, Soldier came on and Soldier thought that Cavaliers were going to at least get a draw still. So I have to big up Soldier for that, because he did say that, and we were ridiculing him, including me.
No, so when I said that just now, I said that to exclude myself. Granted, I did not come on a platform and share my views, but I think a lot of people overestimate the quality of this specific team and by extension, MLS teams. You understand? And if you give them the time of day, man, you would realize that they are not as good as people portray them to be.
Well, Cavaliers were outplayed by Cincinnati last year, if you're going to be fair. So, we have like two different ends of the spectrum. They were outplayed last year. Maybe the conditions, because it was very cold. What I will say to you is that weather conditions probably played a factor, but just to be fair.
Conditions that get a factor.
Yeah.
You understand that game, which is why I very in to understand that game. Because the cold, we already knew because we saw the temperature and we know that it could have been different. You understand? But this game was very good. And earlier I said I'm not going to touch on it, but I'm going to give you inside management. This is the way, this is the technical director, this is Rudolph Speed team, Cavaliers, right? And we are seeing the work that he has done. We have seen the progress. Now, my brief question, just to put it out here, is why can't this be replicated? And you know what I mean? But I left it to say. So far, because there's a second leg, so I'm not going to conclude from my opinion, but so far, I was proud and I am a fan, and come next week, I will be supporting Cavaliers because, I wouldn't say the ref thief or he was in a robbery, to be honest, because the caller said earlier. Me think a three and them draw upon the man and just draw the line over the third and I never see the offside, but the manner in which it was done, when the goal was scored, just a messy gesture and him more demeanor and reach on it near to the touch line, and it took about 10 minutes for the decision to be made. That was not that didn't rest well with me, and I think it never rests well with a lot of people as well. You understand?
Yeah.
And of course, also the goal is Suarez. But from that angle, the goal line technology in that instance. And maybe the keeper should have done better to put it over the bar and concede the corner. But
I felt like the keeper did not I think if anybody was supposed to be blamed on that goal was the goalkeeper, because there are a couple of times the ball came into in the air like that and he had to tip one over the bar. I think his judgment was poor. I don't know. I kind of felt like he should have collected that ball, or he should have gone out for a corner, like I said. That's where I feel like the mistake was made. Yeah.
From your make the ball should have went over the post. I don't know if the goal was a bit taller than usual because you know you have metrics and maybe in a JPL we have a certain size.
No man, the goals are the same height, man.
The goal is the same height where we play in a regular JPL. Same height.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, but yeah, if I make contact with the ball should have gone for a corner. So, you know, and even the one where I think our next Suarez.
Yeah, Suarez.
No, the first one. Yeah.
Suarez scored the second goal, yeah.
Yeah, he was shadowed in the first goal. But again, him should have really conceded the corner in the first place. But you know, this is a good look for the team, and you know, I'm glad Ceruda Speed reap some rewards club-wise, because the verdict is still out there. And I think we can already state say he has failed so far with the national team. And that's why I speak about replication. You understand, man is man, because you can't have two youth, you know, and one are better than the other. You know. There are variables which should have caused one to be better than the other in some instances, but to the best of your capabilities, you must give them equal opportunity.
So what you're saying is, let me just want to be clear, just find out and then I'll release you. What you saw from Cavaliers, you're saying that you don't see that the national team don't play at that level?
I wouldn't even go as far as the national team. You know, what upset me last night was friends that were commenting in groups. They said, this is how the national youth teams should look. And me, I'm looking at myself and I say, are they aware that it is the same man that is the technical director for those teams? You understand? So you are looking at night and day, and that should not be the case.
Oh, you're talking the youth, you're saying that you're talking youth female teams or youth male team? Because the female under 20 team, I mean, that I would say that they did well, you know, because they did lose a game.
Youth team, and we all know which youth team we're talking about. The one that went away and did poor in their campaign most recently. Not necessarily the under 17 team, because, you know, but we all know that there was a different setup for that team specifically. You understand? So what we just said, the same thing that we're seeing for Cavaliers, mean that it is the same person that is in place.
No, but Mr. You know that Mr. Speed is not the technical director though.
Why there's some getting away somewhere, and it's
I'm not getting away, but he's not the technical director. He's a chairman for the technical committee.
Well, man is man. Him I bear the responsibility as far as me concerned. So I don't want to be technical or not. If he's a chairman, that means they are the leader. As so me see it. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But I don't want to do that too much to take away from the moment. I'm just saying we would like to see the same method, the same approach be replicated across the board, because it is evident that you have the know-how. The style of play is very suited to the attributes and qualities of Jamaica.
Why wouldn't you come on and say maybe Mr. Speed should be given like an under 20 team to coach? Wouldn't that be a way of replicating it? Because it is the coach who determines how the team play, not the chairman of the technical committee.
Well, if you want to go to that extent, maybe we could suggest that, but I think so from the technical standpoint, he would implement the style of
but
play.
He is the chairman. He's not the technical director.
So what? So what kind of purpose the chairman does? Isn't he a part of the planning and the suggestions and the approach and the know-how?
All right.
Why you not chair?
All right. So when you have a company, right? You have a committee. That's why they always say this, right? That even if one person disagree, when the committee comes together and determine, because remember, the technical director is responsible for, at least at the youth level, helping with those things. With senior teams, it's a little bit difficult, because you will have a coach today from Brazil who has different footballing philosophy from a person from England, from a person from Serbia, right? From a person from Jamaica, right? And so what happens sometimes is that if you have a senior team and you have players coming from all different places, And we are, because we have to be careful what we want, because we are saying we want our senior team. Let's look at that. The best players. Right? And we are saying that the best players are playing overseas. How do you get now, like a technical director, to create a style of play with players who are not in Jamaica playing with a coach who is not in Jamaica to coach those players? So that is up to the coach.
I never made reference to a senior team. I at minimum, I would have expected to see something similar to the under 17 and the under 20.
You cannot have that in under 20 because, again, it's the same thing with the under 20s. Most of them going to come from overseas. What we should look at is you say under 15, and you saw that with the team that went to the tournament the other day, how they looked. There's a little under 15 team that went. Remember, the last two youth under 15 teams of Jamaica did well enough. Remember, this said under 17 players went to a tournament with the under 15 tournament, and they finished the highest ever in a CONCACAF championship, right? And they came and represented under 15. The team after that actually won the Caribbean tournament in Trinidad last year. So what we would say is, and both teams play the same way, if you look at it, So you could say at the under 15 level, it is working. It has not translated to under 17 yet.
So we might reap more reward if he became a coach. Yeah, say that would maybe be a better ask. We get something anyway similar.
Him don't agree with me, but I think Cavaliers. I'm not going to ask Unseen to respond to it. I believe that Cavaliers over the years has had the best U20 program. They have a team built on U20, which would suggest to me that Rudolph Speed, when it comes on to players between 17 to 20, he has been the best in Jamaica for like the last 10 years, right? We have struggled with under 20 teams, right? Why wouldn't he coach an under 20? He will tell you that. He will tell you that.
Is it this not? Is it the same blueprint? The same blueprint we have for Cavaliers under 20 program? Is it the same blueprint that he takes as the chairman of the technical committee and recommends that they implement this blueprint that he currently has at Cavaliers? Or is that different blueprint, Imam?
No, but he cannot give the chairman of the technical committee can't tell the U20 teams to play them thing there. That is not
what chairman do, man?
So we're gonna have because he has answered it many times. We're gonna have the chairman, and we're going to come on and explain the difference between the chairman and the technical director. And I think you'll get a better understanding.
I think it's just a escape method that he gonna come with because but I hope you guys because Speed was team was playing a lot of long balls in the transition so I hope when you see the U20 team playing that and them say well we are playing like us Cavaliers playing long ball in transition. It wasn't long ball in vein, it was long ball in channels and where players could have utilized their strengths.
Then I see him long ball. It's not the same long ball.
Management.
Well, Unseen, give Unseen a talk.
Yeah, in the call it long ball anymore. I'm tell you what I call it now. AI pass.
What? What you call it?
AI pass. Only a long ball, a long pass. AI pass.
But what me I say, man, is the long you have bolt and long ball like the Sam Allardyce them days where them just ping it and just ping it so you can fight for the second ball. Mr. Speed have a style of play where he playing the long ball down in channels where he has fast players who attack the ball. And the players who are delivering the long passes have accuracy in their passing. So it's not long passing in vain. It is more so a calculated approach, and of course.
But Carla, so what you're saying then, Carla, is the same philosophy, but the players not passing the ball accurately. So is it that the players need to change? I don't understand what you're saying.
It is the key. Just you have a style of play, but you have players that are not capable to carry out the style.
All right, but you want the same style of play. So what you're saying that we need to get players who can pass the ball accurate.
Maybe, and also
We are
Have to
losing.
be reminded. Cavaliers though.
We are losing a little bit, Parish Council. But Ansina drop asleep, so let me hear from him. You know.
Basically on the corn footers.
Drop
We just
asleep,
a team that sat back.
You're breaking up.
Right.
You're breaking up, Parish Council. You're breaking up. We're not hearing you clearly. So let me just take Unseen and let him. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Unseen.
Yeah, man, is man. My issue though, my issue because although there's a lot of positives, I have issues with the gameplay of Cavalier.
Yeah.
I think in some scenarios when they kick the ball and try to go direct further closer to the goal, they could have keep the ball, play 1 and 2 pass and then go into the channels. They gave away the ball a lot, in my opinion, and giving away the ball a lot. Sometimes when good teams get the ball and they keep on going in front of your defenders, like your center back and those players, and pinging passes and shifting the defenders. It's just a matter of time for you to make a mistake for them to score, and hence what happened into the game. I just believe that keeping the ball is a speed need to start to get them to keep the ball more, especially when they don't have a
Yeah, but Unseen. All right, so Inter Miami were playing a back three. The midfield, the Busquets, those guys weren't coming back. Why would Cavalier? I'm just asking you, because you guys are coach. Why Cavaliers need to keep the ball when if they move it, if they go 1, 2, 3 pass, bam to the right, Calvin has a 1-on-1. Isn't that better to do? Because all I'm saying is that if Calvin maximizes 1-on-1 in this game in the first half, they'll have a lot of opportunities. This idea that the team needs to keep the ball. Part of the thing is that speed of play is not how fast the players are, is how fast you can move it through the phases. So if you can take 3 passes to get it into the attacking third, why do I need to make 12?
Man, I'm not saying that you should keep the ball like to get numbers like 40% possession or 50% possession.
I didn't say that, but you're saying that they should keep the ball.
No, what I'm saying is keeping the ball don't necessarily mean that you're going to make 7 passes like you are saying. I am saying in scenarios, because football is scenario, right? If the scenario open up where Calvin is running that channel in the wide area there, and the space is there for hit the ball in that space. But what
they did that? What I'm saying, Unseen, the opportunities, the half chances that they created were created because of how fast they moved the ball through the phases. No, where I'd agree with you is that they made some poor passes that could have that and poor touches, because there were a lot of times when the ball was just bouncing off their foot. That had nothing to do with the style they were trying to play. That had to do more with their technical ability. What I am saying to you is that part of the issue we need to fix with the football is our players. 2 things is that the controlling and making right decision and accurate passes. That's one of the things. The other thing is that we panic easily. Whenever pressure is applied, we make panic decisions. You have to be like Busquets, that you trust your technical ability. He's under pressure, right? And the ball is coming to him, and he still has the ability to make the pass, the said pass a Cavalier player would have, and make a mistake. That has nothing to do with the transition play. It has to do with their technical ability, which is what needs to improve. That is why you need to be spending more time coaching the players with the techniques, because that is where the lacking is. Because if you have a poor technique, then you're under pressure, you're gonna make poor choices and poor passes. But the style of play was fine because they were moving the ball and creating 1-on-1 opportunities. But Calvin wasn't taking on the players and beating them. And all of their goal scoring opportunities had to do with how fast they moved the ball through the different phases.
So man, I agree with you when you talk about the style. So Unseen never have no issue with the style of play, with the transition of play. What I have an issue with is what Manizman said as well, is not being able to keep the ball when pressure is applied to them, they tend to kick away the ball. Now, man, I can tell you that some of the play that these players make, it is taught to them to keep us go along. So some of the one-time passes they're going forward with and giving away the ball, that is my issue, man. They can keep the ball there and make one or two passes when the space is open up wide for Calvin or Kylie Irving, then go into that zone. That is my issue.
Okay. All right. We have CC on the line. CC, welcome to I Am Sure.
Yeah. Yes, man. To be honest, I'm gonna tell you, when you are what do you consider then lesser team per se, you're not necessarily going to be. You have to play to your strengths, and you can't play to the strengths to say, oh, you have to try out-possess the Inter Miami team then, in a sense. So sometimes when I say, oh, you want them to keep the ball a bit longer, or you want to them to hold up the ball for a longer period of time. But in terms of when I look at the ability of both teams, Cavalier strategy where I saw them going into the wide areas and running at the fullback areas, which was left exposed by Jordi Alba, and the way in which Inter Miami has played, I think that was the best option. I think as per usual, management, and we've seen it in terms of goal scoring, the team was let down in terms of, I think, poor finishing when you get into the final third, or poor decision making to actually convert one of those opportunities. If Cavaliers were a bit more clinical, I think they could have been 2-0 up in the first half. So for me, the first half, I think they gave a good account of themselves, something that a lot of people did not expect. I never expected them to win, but I expected them to get opportunities. Having seen Inter Miami versus Sporting Kansas City, and having seen the amount of chances that Sporting Kansas City created, but they just weren't as clinical either. Therefore, they did not end up putting away those opportunities. So I thought that if you could exploit the wide spaces, then you would get opportunities against Inter Miami, which Cavaliers did last night, got their opportunities, and unfortunately, it didn't pan out. But two phases of play management, because I think a lot of times
let me just say this to you, in addition to what you said, and then you go on, because we still have to wrap up. So when Inter Miami went 2, you realize that Richard King started having the ball, and the Haitian came on. They started making passes. He'd pass it, move into the space, collect it, and they had a couple of build-up plays. Part of why that happened is because now Inter Miami was not applying as much pressure because they're up. So they were just sitting back, which gave Cavaliers more room. I think what happened with a lot of our local players is when the game is pressure moments, they make poor decisions. So I think sometimes it is a mindset. If we can get our players to be confident under pressure and trust their technical ability, then we will see some of those better decisions in the final third. I do not believe that Jamaica's football, domestic football, focus is a lot on how players are prepared mentally. I think we focus on their physical preparation, oftentimes tactical setup, and technical ability, but we don't coach well in pressure moments. Like, what do? You can go faster, but still possess the ball. Playing faster don't mean kicking the ball away. Moving faster is not making bad passes. It's dealing with the pressure and making right decisions. Right, CC? So that I just wanted to add that to it.
Yeah,
What? Go ahead. Answer.
Yeah, the question, management, could you create a scenario now for the fans in how you teach that?
All right. I can do that, and then CC. And let CC go, and then I'll tell you a very good drill to do that.
Please to remember.
Yeah. Go ahead, CC.
All right. So management, for me, as I said, and I tend to say this before, in terms of technical ability, I don't think you necessarily need a coach to develop technical ability. You need a ball, and you need a couple of cone, and you need discipline. to develop your technical ability,
No,
right?
no, CC. You're simplifying football, CC. What are you talking about, CC? Do you know, CC, like, when you're taking the ball, right? When you're taking the ball, CC, which one of your legs you're supposed to take the ball with? When you want to change direction.
Management, that is just improving on what, all right, management.
CC, listen what I'm asking you, CC, before you tell me about improving. Just listen what I'm asking you first. When you are seeking to change direction, which leg do you take the ball with?
Management, I don't tell you something already, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything. I don't know.
When the man gone to that, where you getting? All right, go ahead, CC, make your point. Sorry, boss.
No, I don't know, so you don't tell me.
Your back foot, CC, because it allows you. So while you can take it on your front foot, you have to allow it to come to your back foot because that opens up the angle. That is something that you have to teach kids. Don't tell me that them can't get ball and cone and go do that.
Man, is my back foot and front foot now?
If you don't know what that means in a football, you should not have gotten a D license.
I know about the back foot and front foot. I never get taught that way.
Really? So when the player is passing the ball to you, right, and you have the left here, but you are going to turn and go outright. Which one?
I understand what you're saying, man. But I think the back foot and front foot is not the right way.
What term you use? Back leg.
So.
What term you use? What term you use? Let me ask you what term you use.
So let me explain it. Let me my explanation.
What term you use?
Hold on, man. Let me explain it my way. So if the ball is coming from the left side and I want to go to the right, in front, straight in front, I'm going to control the ball on my right foot to go that way.
Hey, boss. That's not what you tell. That's not.
You can't use back foot and front foot. You know, back foot and front foot, man.
What are you talking about in football? Unseen. You must know. There are a couple of things you need to tell your kids unseen about opening up.
I don't use those terms, back foot and front foot.
You cannot tell them to. All right. Ricardo Fuller, I'm going to give you several coaches. Marino, Ricardo Fuller, Arsene Wenger have these on their coaching video. Even Ricardo Fuller, right? When he just got his thing and he was doing his stuff. You can go. Tupper, Davian Ferguson, Ruder Speed. They have these things when you watch them coach. When the ball is coming, you have to open up your body. You don't take it on the front leg because that means you're going to be in the same direction. You let it come to the back leg so you can change what you're talking about. I don't understand what you mean. Are you
No. Never learn the way. I use right and left foot.
So CC, the other thing about technical and tactical is also the ability to scan. Scanning is a part of the football.
Don't use that.
Right? So that is not just taking up cones and balls, CC. What you're talking about is dribbling, right? Because a part of technical ability, CC, is helping a youngster to understand why do you dribble the ball, CC?
All right, so management, I'm going to tell you, that is the thing we are having. So right now, because the game is coach-centric, the game is to be player-centric, you know. The game has evolved to coach-centric. You know?
Yeah.
So what me actually say to you, to pass a ball, to dribble a ball, to control a ball, you don't need a coach to know how to control a ball. You don't need a coach to know how to pass a ball. You don't need a coach to know how to dribble a ball.
No,
but when you go into the coach,
CC, but why? Listen what I'm asking you. You can dribble, but what is the purpose of dribbling the ball? What are the 3 footballing rules concerning dribbling?
Man, you know, say me I get into me I say when you say when to dribble, how to dribble, and where to dribble.
That is technical, because that is a part of technical development.
But if you can't dribble, a coach can't teach you how to dribble.
But you don't have to dribble. You don't have to be a dribbler to play the ball. Based on what?
Yes, but I'm saying to you, management, a coach can't teach you how to dribble.
All right, let me apologize for interrupting you. Let me allow you to finish and make your point. I will keep silent. Go ahead. Make your point.
All right. My point just comes off with the
handball, which I think they should have given. And the other one is Suarez. I think it was about it when me I say in terms of how our football was. Tactically, I think years ago, I don't think we grasped the game tactically, and I think that's where the game has gone now. It's got more tactical, and then I think even the technical ability in terms of aspects. Say, oh, yes, you're a dribbler, but in terms of telling them where to dribble and which factors back into the tactics. So I think tactically and mentally, our team, our players are lacking in that aspect. That's just what I think. Them have the physical, and I think them still possess some form of technical ability in terms of how they control the ball and things. But tactically, in terms of their tactical awareness, where they are, and knowing when they are, I don't think that aspect of it. I don't think they have gotten that aspect of it as yet.
Yeah.
But that's just my point.
All right, cool. Unseen, do you teach your kids how to dribble?
Of course.
How to pass?
Of course.
How to control?
You have to teach them. You have to teach them different control. Ways they control them.
You teach them about chipping the ball or floated passes, short passes, all of those things.
Well, based on the level, if they are young, you have to teach them how to kick the ball first before you start teaching them how to float ball. You understand me?
But you teach people chip pass, you teach them how float pass, you teach them how to what them call now pinging the ball, or teach them how to make short passes, one touch passes, right? You have to teach them. Part of the technical thing is like, right, all right, when do you pass and stay? When do you pass and move? Like those things are important.
And why do you move?
There you go. It's the same thing with dribbling. Why do you dribble? You can dribble to create space. Because you dribble to create space. Right, CC?
Yeah, but I said that's why we see more system. That's why we see more system ball. You know? When them going to play and they need to improvise and do something, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And they never develop nothing for them, and they don't know what to do. It's almost like, all right, the coach never said to do this now. Coach never said to do that. What do I do now?
CC, let me ask you a question, CC. As skilled as Neymar is, you don't think that he learned on his skills to improve it so that he could be flawless whenever he's doing his...
I'm not saying, he refined it, but
Who refined it? Who helped him refine it? Who helped him refine it?
They're playing organized football.
Coaches, brother.
Yes, by playing organized football.
No, in the training ground, Bridging.
Street football. Listen, when you're in the street to play street football, and you see a man can turn in a tight space and thing. You think a coach teach him how to do that? When I mean street football, I do it. You know, watch football and him go take up a ball, him love it and him go try it.
CC. Watch it, CC. Nobody is saying, because what you're saying, like, for example, a baby can pass a ball right now, and nobody has ever coached the baby. If you put a football in front of a baby, they kick it, and nobody has ever taught them that.
That's what I say.
So what on a CC? So all of us, just like a baby can run, and nobody has ever taught them how to run. Them just get up, and when they're 2-year-old, them start running at the house. Nobody has ever teach them that. They just run. So people by nature can pass a ball. People, a girl, a 4-year-old girl, they put a ball in front of her and say, pass it to me. She try and pass it. It may go wrong, but she still a pass it. She don't need a coach to teach her to do that. But if you're going to play football, CC, then you're going to need a coach to tell you how to pass with the inside of your foot, outside of your foot. What are the techniques you need when you're going to use your instep to pass the ball? When you're passing it on the volley, when you're going to pass it with a tie, how to make a headed pass, how to make a chest pass. All of those things a coach will need to teach you. Of course, you're going to practice on your own and develop them. Of course, you have some talents that you grew up with, that you know how. All right. Because listen, when I know you know about stop turn, you know about Cruyff turn, you understand me, you know about the golf turn. So you use them in different places. There are times when you're changing direction that you need on the outside when you need the stop turn. There are times when you have to use the Cruyff turn when you're dribbling. There's a time when you use the golf turn. So all of these things you need while you probably see them on TV and you're doing them. You know why? Which is part of the problem I keep on telling people. Because people say things on YouTube, and many coaches in Jamaica do this. They go on YouTube and them say drill, and them take them up and do them. But the experienced coach know that every drill leads to an end product. So don't just do a drill. What is the purpose of doing the thing? Because the why is important in understanding techniques so you can develop the tactical awareness in football.
Teach them, man. Teach them, man. Teach them.
You just say, when you talk about tactical awareness, management, nothing that I said. All right. So me, I say personally, when you go into an environment and you do all the coaching, the coach said, just like if you are work, and them tell you, say, oh, this is how you have to do this transaction. But it is not robotic in nature where you are focusing on, oh, if the boss not tell me how to do this, I don't know how to do it. And I only can do it the way or the boss show me to do it.
No, but CC, you develop people and you still give them leverage. So you don't, what you're talking about now is, okay, it's when you get the ball, unseen, all I want you to do is pass it to this person and don't move, stay in your position. No, within teaching people technical skills and setting up systems, coaches give them freedom. A lot of things that what's his name? Martin Odegaard does with Arsenal is not like Arteta says to him, right? What Martin Odegaard, you see when you get the ball, always back heel it to Saka. But here's what he knows. He knows that here is what is going to be the run. All right? There are a couple of passes I can try. The inside of my foot, the outside of my foot are the back heel. I can take a touch and turn and then pass it. What is the easiest way to move the ball based on what we have learned tactically? Okay, it is to just do a back heel. All right, let me back heel it. That is something that he learned. But part of his technical development is to understand that unless you see the pass and the channel is clear, you cannot do the back heel. That is what a coach is going to tell you. Just like how Stephen Francis will say, Glenn Mills will say to Usain Bolt, you're already faster than them. But here's where they could beat you. You see a start you need to work on. You see a dry face you need to work on.
Yeah, man, as I said before, me think the coaching comes in with the tactical, comes in with even the mental, and it comes in with the physical. I think it is heavier in those categories than it is in the technical side of it. That is just my opinion or how I see it. Because I'm a coach. All right, let me put it like this. Although, people, when I say this, you're going to hear one big backlash. I'm no footballer. I'm no one of that. But me know, say, I knew how to strike a ball. I knew how to do, when I say, lock and cut. I knew how to do all of that. And I never get no coach to tell me, say, you need to do this, I need to do that. I know how to pass the ball. I know how to pass the ball. I know when to pass the ball. I think a coach never tell me that. I never say I'm not a big baller.
But
to get to a different level, I said that I would have needed a coach.
To teach you what?
To refine these things. In a competitive environment, in terms of in a tactical setup, how to apply these things.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. How to apply these things. But I mean, management, let me tell you the point I talk about. The point is in terms of this motivation. When there's nobody there, are you working on these things?
No, but none of us disagree with that. So kids will take up football and they juggle it. That is going to help them. Some will do physical, some will do a lot of squats. That is going to help them. Some will, like I used to do that. I used to get tennis ball outside of what my coach used to do. So I used to have this fence right at my house, and it had like what those fences are. It come with a different part. So you have this metal part, and then you have the fence. So you had like gold. So here's what so it had three parts, right? So you had the center, Yeah, it almost like it had 3 goals because there was 1, 2, 3, 4 columns and then defense. So what I did is that, okay, whenever I throw the tennis ball up and I'm going to volley it, I need to hit the post at the far end. When it's on the right, I need to hit that one. When it's in the middle, I need to go center. So I was doing that. But here's what my coach showed me: how to position my body, how to set my non-kicking foot. They also showed me this, CC, that where your non-kicking foot is pointed is where the pass normally or generally goes. So those things I did not know. Even if I were doing them, I didn't know the importance of where my non-kicking foot was positioned.
All right, so let me ask you this question, management. Years ago, like if we look on in terms of the quality of the players back then, or the quality of the game locally back then versus now, do you think it has gotten better tactically, but not so much technically?
You talk about football now. Football is not players right now in Jamaica.
Let me answer him.
Players are technically better now, CC.
Because you can't be tactically sound without being technical.
There you go. Big up and be like, talk to him, be like the coach.
Never say something unseen, right? And we're going to look for it there. The reason why I always think coaching let down the players them but up to a point is because I thought when you look at the coaching, when you look at the players, majority of the players, if you look on even the teams that are dominating in schoolboy football, the players seem to have certain set of skill set or a certain ability, and then I didn't see where the coach added on to it. So the player at 17, when I saw him at 25, he's the same player. So what did the coach do in between that time, from 17 to 25?
I don't understand what you mean.
I understand what you mean.
Alex Marshall at Georges, right? Brilliant. I see him play. Alex Marshall right now looks like Alex Marshall at Georges. I haven't seen any great improvement.
So, hold on. So, great improvement where? Technically,
or even
really? You think Alex Marshall is worse technically now than he was when he was at Georges?
He's worse technically. So, Alex Marshall is the same player.
In terms of what?
Just older.
In terms of what?
In the improve tactically.
I'm saying he hasn't improved.
CC. All right. So you use Alex Marshall because he's here. So you said that from Alex Marshall was in St. George's. When you saw him playing for St. George's to know he has not improved any at all. You're a madman, man.
I'm saying
you're a madman.
Well, yes, I'm a madman.
You must be a madman. I want you to find a clip. All right, let me give you a good example, sis. I want you to find a clip of when Alex Marshall was playing for St. George's, when he was tracking inside and defending and tackling, and on corners, he was defending and heading out. Find some clips of that and send to me.
Alex Marshall, let me just say a while ago. Alex Marshall I get better technically.
How you mean say man I get? So because what is technical? You see, this is the issue, you know, because it's what you consider to be technical. So let me ask you this. What
Alex Marshall hasn't gotten better.
Here's the question I need to answer. Define.
Been a better dribbler.
Define what you mean when you say technical. Hold on. CC. No, CC, hear me ask, you know. Define what you mean by technical. Define that to me in footballing terms.
All right. So, the skills and techniques used to manipulate the ball, dribbling, shooting, control, those things.
So is let me ask you this now, CC. So hold on. Is running a part of technical development?
Of course.
No, just unseen. CC me I talk to because he not mentioned that. So me ask him.
No, you just get aggressive, man, because I know what CC I talk about. Sorry.
Honest man, you have to do, but in terms of doing these things, you have to move management.
So
has to be moved. You're not like you turn up and do them thing, yeah?
So CC, listen what I'm asking you. Because you mentioned some skills. So I just ask you about running. You say it has to be. Let me ask you the next one. Is scanning a part of technical development?
Speak to him, man. Speak to him, please.
Man. I say.
I'm asking you a question.
Scanning,
is it a part of technical development?
Scanning is tactical awareness.
What?
What?
What you just said, CC?
Scanning is
Scanning-
tactical awareness.
Tactical awareness. All right, people. All right, CC, come back when. Hey, CC.
Yeah, man, I'm just a madman,
No, sorry, but
I'm a
all right,
madman.
No. May I bridging still? People, honestly, I am. My apologies. I should not have said. CC is. I'm a virgin. Is not a madman. My apologies.
CC, do you D license?
No, I'm not doing no license. I'm not no license. License no coach.
Anyway.
Anyway.
CC, been a while since I said. Let me ask you this. But you ask a good question. Do you believe, like, if Alex Marshall were to go back in the...
He's older. He's older, man.
But he's the same player. Nothing has changed about him.
He's changed
physically. Changed physically.
Oh, so the only thing about if Alex Marshall goes back into schoolboy football this season, you're saying that it's only his physical ability that
he
would have...
look brilliant because him already have the ability where him did already look good playing schoolboy football at the level where he did there. And then if he go back now, where he's stronger, more physical, all them things, they might go dominate. Sound like me, I tell you, you put an older, more wiser player into the situation now. We think he have more experience now. He has more experience. So that is
so CC, stuff like
but that question, you know.
CC, you see stuff like positioning, right? You see stuff like positioning is very important when you talk about the technical development of.
Yeah,
you see, you know what position I'm talking is not just position on the field in a CC, is body position in a CC. You know that?
Say it again.
CC, you know that body position now is important.
Yes, so open up your ball when the ball come. Open up your body when the ball coming across. All of them things. I mean, no man, man. I'm not saying you say put the ball back across. All right. So when you go kick a shot, you putting the ball back where it is coming from. For example, the ball coming from the left, and you're going to you're aim for the far post because the way in which the ball is coming, rather than to aim for the near post, which is much more difficult if you should go for that shot. So you make the ball come across the body and you put it back. Right now, I'm not saying that those things aren't a part of your technical development, but I'm saying the recipe or the grassroots or the foundation is just like when you're doing a math division and all them thing there. The foundation of your technical ability is the skill set of you in terms of the skill set to manipulate the ball, passing, dribbling, all them thing there. So I mean, I'm not a coach, so I like say me have nobody when me I say these things so. But coach.
Me doesn't talk because even yeah man, I know you're from, but let me just say this to you. There in the older days, people used to use the word called jockeying, right? Right, which was part of the idea of delaying the person. All those things are technical, you know. How to position your body without the ball, so you can put the person with the ball in a particular position. So, for example, if I want the person to go outside, how I position my body is very important. You need coaches to tell you that. That is not tactical yet in a CC. These are part of our technical development. But a lot of us believe that technical development is controlling and passing and shifting and kicking shot and heading the ball, which is true, but it is way more than that. And that is why CC, there are many people who, when you look at the street footballers and the juggling people, them can juggle the ball from now. They have certain technical ability, but they are not technically good to play football. But them can't juggle. You can't juggle like them. Them when they juggle now, ball in between them leg, them flick it up, them every time, them back on them neck, everything. You put them on the field, you realize that they don't know how to position them body. Them don't know how to pass the ball, but you cannot juggle like them, boss. So people look and say, yo,
Management, so let me ask you a question.
them on the full of technical skills.
So let me ask you a question, management.
Yeah.
Decision making, field awareness and vision. What is that?
Huh?
Field awareness and vision. What is that?
Field awareness and vision.
Vision.
Me never hear about field awareness in a football team, to be honest.
Vision. Vision.
Eh? Vision? I don't know. That's kind of. I mean, at best, I can probably.
This is the same thing we talk about, like when they say scanning. That is why I tell you, you know, scanning. I will come under field awareness and vision. It's like you.
All I'm saying, CC, in my, and maybe these are new terms. I've never heard about field awareness and vision in coaching still. But maybe. Eh?
Don't make CC go up on JPL Live because of them thing.
Hey, CC, me have a next color coming that we have to run. So, you understand me? So,
but anyway, when we say is unseen, when we talk about scanning and them things, that have to come down to awareness and vision, tactical awareness to know where you are and what the other player them there and them thing there.
All right,
the position on the field and where the other people are. You know, but anyway, technical ability has nothing to do with the opposition. Tactical ability have everything to do with the opposition and yourself. But anyway, big up on yourself.
Big up yourself, CC. That was CC. All right. All right, let me just take this one call unseen and then I have to leave. And I have to go follow up with them. Yeah, we just take.
Thanks, man. How are you doing?
Cranky. Welcome.
Jamaica must be happy today. Even a loss.
Well, let me say that. I think people are like indeed happy. Yeah.
You have to be happy because I did the watch along, man, and the predictions were a little bit outrageous about the outcome going to be. So, a couple of things. One is very proud of the team, and even though sometimes you lose, but you're happy with your performance.
Yeah.
Because you could be the better team in a game about how you played, but you don't get the outcome, right? And that game could have gone anywhere yesterday. In fact, Cavalier probably should have been up 2-0 if luck was on their side. And be hard for Miami to come back. And I'm going to have positives and developmental aspect of what I view. So if I start with the opposition, Miami, I thought they were good on the ball, but I thought they were slow and sometimes show their age. Their average age was 28?
Yeah.
They have players with technical ability, but I think Rudolph did a brilliant job, actually, in the strategy that they employed or deployed to counter what they did. So I think he was talking about transition. He was counterattacking. I don't want to talk about say transition and counter transition. We know the technical coach term is so intelligent. He was counterattacking. I win the ball, I get up speed as quickly as possible, and I try to exploit your weaknesses, especially on the right side with Calvin. That was throughout the game. I think Cavalier's biggest problem yesterday were twofold. One is they need to eat some nutritious food and go to the gym because they got bounced out the ball easily in good position. And secondly, importantly, they have to have more composure on the ball. There were so many times they won the ball back management because of the athleticism and the energy, and they didn't exploit what they have going upfield. They were rushing to get upfield so quickly. They didn't take enough time to beat the first line of defense or second line to get in a dangerous position. But I was extremely impressed with the strategy that Rudolph employed. And frankly, they could have easily been the winner yesterday and have Miami struggling coming to Jamaica to play on an interesting surface.
Yeah, yep. There you go. I think they could have the advantage because of that. But like I said, I think especially in the beginning of the game, I think a lot of those passes that they misplaced could have been just the occasion, right? And again, I think
they were difficult passes. They were difficult passes.
Sure.
They were difficult passes.
And I will go on to say though that one of the things that a lot of the players that we have locally, and I think I was saying it to Unseen earlier, that we have to find a way of helping them to make good decisions even under pressure. And if they look at Busquets yesterday, he had all accurate passes even when there was pressure on him. Why do we, once there is pressure, our passes go astray. I think that is what is one of the major problems with our football, Cranky.
Man's man.
You say something DW. DW, I understand the whole transition defense, transition offense. I don't buy into the coaching bullshit. I don't buy into this whole, it's moments in the game, it's decisions in the game. That's why I view it. When you talk about moments in the game, it's decisions you make that create that moment. So I go with decision versus go with moments, with transition and with counterattacking. But that's just me. Go ahead, Ansi.
Yeah, so Man's man, to add to what you're saying, I think also movements is a critical sore point of our young players. And moving into the different zones. Because if that player, say for example, a king gets the ball and there's no person in space or that he trusts to give the ball, he's going to boot that ball long. You understand me? Because he don't want two persons to start double teaming and stuff like that. So movements going to space to receive the ball is the next big problem for us. We don't really move into spaces.
I think Jason Guna is saying it. He says, not used to constant pressure because you get a lot of time, which is so true.
Because I don't agree with Jason. There wasn't pressure, Mannings. When you win the ball and you have time, Manning, that's not pressure, right? Pressure is when the team is like pressing you or the team is right in front of you. Go watch the game again, Mannings, especially in the midfield when they win the ball. They had no pressure sometimes. They turn over the ball with no pressure. If somebody's 5 yards from me, that's not pressure.
True.
They turn the ball over with no pressure. That's not my problem. I'm watching the game saying, if these kids just settle down, they can win this game. Because Miami is slow of foot. And when they're attacking, when you attack, you get comfortable with your management. You're attacking and you position the ball, you start committing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players. Sometimes they only have 2 or 3 defenders back. And if Stein was stronger, because I didn't think Stein played well, to be honest. If he was a stronger player, and hold the ball up to bring his teammates into play, be a different game. And frankly, I don't know what Calvin was. I like how Calvin played, by the way, but I don't understand what he was trying to do on the goal that he missed. Why are you using your head or your right foot? Why are you using your left foot?
That ball that came across, I thought that was difficult.
Yeah.
I thought that was difficult.
His head, no, man, your head panic is a bullet. Like goal, man, use your head, man.
But you'd have to dive.
And he had to lift his foot up in the management. That means his head height.
But you'd have to dive.
But remember him score one, same off a L shot.
I feel like that was a difficult. I felt like the one that he should have scored was that 1-2 pass between him and Dwayne Atkinson.
No,
where he tried to control that one. He should not have tried to control it. He was right in the 6. I felt like that one was easier than that cross.
The head was on the 5-yard line, Mannings.
Cranky.
Yeah, go ahead, Nancy.
Just to put some more strength on your point earlier. You know that a similar play was in the Premier League. I think it was Chapelton Maroons versus Cavaliers, where Elshot squared a ball and the same bullet header diving and heading the ball. That's what he did. They could have done the same thing for this one.
Yeah, I mean, it was so close to the goal. Unless he headed straight to the keeper wouldn't have a chance.
Listen, I felt like that ball that was on the ground, he should have just allowed the ball to roll and try and tow it because he has scored like that already. I think the fact that he tried. But that one that came across, that is tough. Yeah, I think that was a tough opportunity to dive over on it. Yeah.
If you raise your left leg, which is unorthodox, that high, coming from that side, Manning, to try to use the inside of or the outside of your boot to score it, that's a more difficult thing to execute, And I just dive my head on it and just hit it, and it goes where it goes.
Why never use him right foot?
I thought he was in the game a lot, actually, because I think Speed was trying to use him to exploit the left side of Miami's team. Yeah. And I think they worked really well.
How your favorite?
Speed was good, but people, let me just say this, because you guys say, hey, Cranky, I kiss up the Speed. And no bother with it. All right? Make it credit what they do. If you get beaten, and still don't get beaten, when tomorrow we talk about JPL, will get beaten. So, but they get credit where credit is due.
What about
if him do well, they'll give him credit.
What about King?
So no bother with it.
What about King and the former KC man doing Atkinson?
Well, King is my baller, so I don't have to talk about King.
King is my baller.
King is my baller. No. What are you talking about, Nancy?
Just no. Okay. All right.
What do you mean? No. Nancy, back up, Nancy. Back
you
up.
Just said just no. You
no,
said
King has been my baller. So don't come talk
King is a baller. No. King is a baller. No.
No. But I didn't know King. Ask the man who come on my channel, that's why you don't know this. You don't come on my channel, so you don't know this.
I come over your channel, you tell me say you're not add me on.
All right, so ask the man who come on my channel if you not talk about King. Ask the man who come on my channel. If you know front runner and no bandwagonist, no bandwagonist, you know.
Yeah, wagonist man. Yeah, wagonist man. Jump on the King tree now.
Somebody say if it was up to Cranky, it would not have any 24 from England on blue team. Why are people like this, people? Why are people like this? I've always said that I want the 24 best players or 23 best players. Why are we like this? Why is DW hating? Why are you hating DW? Why are you hating? Stop hating. I give a man one thing I do. I try to look at things based on their merits.
No, man, the truth is
judge things based on their merits.
Yeah, the truth is, I think it was in the last thing that we played and he made that brilliant pass. I know even before that he have been bringing up King still.
Yeah, I mean, against the US, that outside of the foot pass still is in my vision. Still can't see it. It's not normal. And when somebody does, when you watch him play, even last night, even though he went long a lot of time, I think he went long just to be safe. Right? But when he didn't have to go long, he tried to play it. But here's the problem last night. His CDM wasn't going to him to take the ball off him, like a Ravel may do. He wasn't. He was hiding sometimes.
Yeah.
So why force it to my CDM was not comfortable versus, you know what? Put it out of my life and start over.
Yeah.
But look, hopefully they'll do as well or better in the second leg and get a positive outcome, because I thought they did immensely well yesterday. You could tell Mascherano and the team was never
comfortable.
They were very nervous.
Yep.
They were nervous.
And
they should have lost the game. To be honest, they should have lost the game.
You know what is funny? I didn't feel like Cavaliers, like, you never felt like, oh my God, the goal is coming from Inter now. They're under a lot of, I never felt like that watching the game. While Inter had the better position, I never felt like Cavaliers they were under any immense pressure at any phase of the game.
So Manning, that's where athleticism comes into play, because when Miami gets the ball in dangerous position, a Cavalier player is always anticipating and intercepting, right? Or so they didn't get comfortable around the 18. They may have been comfortable walking up to the 18. The second goal was Lane's mistake, right? He was the one who, I know, was he trying to control the ball? Or, I don't know what he was doing.
I don't know, but Lane always have one mistake.
And the first one could have been, the first one wasn't the player outside, and therefore it was illegal touch.
No,
by the player who put the ball in play.
Cranky, you know better than that. You know a player can be out of bounds and still touch the ball. You know, Cranky.
No, somebody sent me the rules last night.
No,
so I did the same.
Cranky, no, Cranky.
Somebody sent me the rules last night.
Cranky,
twice.
That is fast. Cranky. So how goalkeeper?
I think it's fast.
So how goalkeeper touch the ball and some of them outside of outbound? Come on.
But the ball is inbound. Was the ball out of bounds?
So the issue is, was the ball in or out of bounds?
Was the ball out of bounds? You can't go out of bounds and touch the ball out of bounds anytime you play.
No, the ball was not out of bounds though.
The ball was out of bounds. So how come we didn't show the angle with the ball?
So we can't say. We have no proof that the ball was out of bounds.
We have no proof that the ball was in bounds. It looked out of bounds to me. It looked like both the player and the ball were out of bounds.
Well, the player was out of bounds.
The player was out of bounds and the ball out of bounds. They go kick the ball.
No, the player was out of bounds, but the ball was inbound. All the ball never crossed the line.
That's a different story.
Yeah. That's a different story. Because remember, if the ball was out of bounds, whether the player touch it or not, it is out of bounds. Even if he was inbound, if the player was inbound and the ball is out of bounds, it is still out.
Yes.
But you can be out of bounds and still touch the ball as long as the ball is not out of bounds. But but if you're inbounds and they can show where the ball is out of bounds, they're going to say the ball was out, because
I thought both the man and the player were out of bounds. The ball and player was out of bounds.
I am saying it is possible, but from the angle that I saw,
it was very convenient management of the people who are in the production team showing the thing on Fox not to show that. They showed the miss by Calvin like 5 or 6 times, management.
Yes.
Both on ESPN and on Fox 2. Nobody showed that ball out of bounds or the play out of bounds.
You know what is funny, Cranky? I remember, and DW is saying to me, I believe that except for like throw-ins and goal kicks and stuff like that, if a player is out of bounds and touch the ball, except for the goalkeeper, it should be ruled out of bounds.
No. If the ball, that's ball management, because when he hit the ball, it has to be inbounds, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying
if you're out of bounds to kick the ball, then he has to be inbounds to kick the ball inbounds.
No, but remember in basketball, you know, if you're out, as long as the foot is not on the ground, they're saying that, right. So in cricket, it's the same thing. If you're over the boundary, you can still keep the ball in bounds, you know, but don't touch the ground. In football, I can be off the field and still be in contact with the ball, and there's no issue.
But when you kick it, the question of management is this: are you saying your entire body has to be out of bounds? Because if you're out of bounds, you kick the ball in bounds, that means you're in bounds.
No, man. What I'm saying, what I am saying is that if my entire body,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. I hear you. Know, if my entire body is out of bounds, right, but the ball is on the line, right, because the ball has not gone out, it is still ruled as inbounds. I am saying it should be an infringement for me to touch the ball being off the field. But it is not in the rule right now.
I understand. Look, there are a lot of problems with some things in football, but that's not going to change. I can understand what they're saying. Look, if you kick the ball when you're out of bounds, that means you have to be in bounds, a party by in bounds to kick the ball, right? Has to be.
No, they don't have that in the rule. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, conceptually,
yes.
If you're going to kick the ball when it's in bounds, then your body has to be in bounds.
Exactly.
Yes,
that is my point.
Yes.
Some part of you must be on the field. Your entire body cannot be off the field, and you're still allowed to play the ball.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying.
That is my problem with the rule. It has always been because with basketball, you'd have to be off the ground. With cricket, you have to throw the ball. You can't catch the ball. You can be on the field and touch the ball out. So you should not be able to be out.
Yeah, but in cricket, you can catch the ball out of bounds so long as you don't touch the ground and come back in bounds.
Yes,
right?
There you go.
Catch it, that they do a lot in cricket. They catch it out of bounds, they throw it back in, but they can't touch the ground out of bounds other than if they're out of bounds.
In football, you can be on the ground and touch the ball, and you understand me? That is my issue. But I think you'd have to, with corner kicks and throw-ins now, you'd have to say, except for when there's a dead ball. That is going to be, so because you change the rule and say only when there's a dead ball you can do that because of how corners are, how throw-ins are, or how some free kicks and
People take throwing inbounds nowadays and not instantly call. They don't even call throw-ins anymore. No, seriously. I watched a game the other day. The player was standing on the line, management, and throw the ball in. They're not calling no more. They don't even call a full throw. If you call a full throw, it's deemed to be how can you throw a full throw when full throw made every day.
There was a time when every time Arsenal played, Arsenal had a foul throw this season, boss.
That was Bellerin. Last when Bellerin was here. No, but let me just summarize by saying that I've been on enough.
Jason said that.
I am very pleased.
Jason said that anybody that says the ball was definitely in or out based on the angle we saw is just lying to themselves.
No, look, Fox should have. When a goal is scored, management. First of all, when a goal is scored, VAR should be looking at the whole build-up to the goal to see if there's any infringement that may preclude the goal from being allowed, right? That's the first thing.
That's what Jason said. They do that now.
The VAR has to look at the ball. Huh?
Jason said that is the rules. Every goal is checked by VAR.
Yes, so the ball being out of bounds should have been checked. I didn't see where they stopped the ref and say, hold on, did the ball go out of bounds or not? I didn't see that component of it. They checked for like offside and all that. And one player was in offside position, but he was interfering with the play, the guy on the right. But I didn't see where they stop and say, let's check and see the ball was out of bounds or not. I didn't see that. Maybe that occurred, but I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I see I have some haters in the chat. I see DW. DW is a constant hater. Hey DW, get a life.
But you know your favorite fans are the man, aka TikTok and Paul Edwards. You know the man says, "Tell Cranky to watch the beginning of the program. We already spoke about it."
I didn't want to begin the program. I just came on the program, you moron.
What
I'm the wrong person, basically.
What time is it? Oh.
No, I'm doing a show, but I'm doing a show on more important matters, social matters. I'm changing my programming to focus on things where I don't have these fans who I like to get the Trump fans who cuss me out. The MAGA fans, they're better than the cussing is better than.
Yes, you're doing social matters. You need to continue with that.
What?
You need to continue with this housing thing that I'm talking about. You know what is it? You know. I didn't.
The housing. Yeah. No, I'm doing something on tariffs. By now and tomorrow, I'm doing something on Jamaica. Should Jamaica be depending on the US like they are? Because it's
do you know that I just found out that NHT don't even give people money, they just pay the loans now. Crazy. Like that whole thing needs to be discussed. And then the other thing I was talking about yesterday is when the people have their goods and the goods are taken away from them because they are in what they call no vending era selling, shouldn't the authorities give them back their goods? How a man can have him Clarks and him pants and him shirts them? That authorities take them away.
No. Yeah, there's another question, man. What do they do with the goods?
That is. Okay.
That's the question, man. What do they do with the goods?
Some people.
I'm sure they're not go back and get it, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that the people should give the people a receipt, and then when the people go there and pay their fine and get back their goods, you can't.
Yes.
You can't not get back your goods. Something is wrong with that.
You know what? You and I are gonna do a show one of those things actually. Let's do it. You know what we should do? One on your channel, one on my channel. We'll do a show on some of those things.
Something is wrong
because
with that.
You know what, man? We gotta call out those things because they're unfair.
Yeah.
We gotta call those things out. They're unfair and they're taking advantage of the little man. When I try to make a little money, he may be in a situation where in a zone where he should be in. So he pays fine, you give him back his goods. You can't.
Yeah, give him back his goods. There you go.
It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. But that's where people are not pushing the envelope to say, you know what? This is give it prominence to it. Don't tell Maverick have their own video. Someone support the small man, even though I'm elitist. Anyway,
big up yourself, Cranky. All right. So that was Cranky. Yeah, man. Unseen. Big up yourself. You're doing a B license. Big up to your team as well. Lima in the tier 2, but I'm gonna have to run leaving. Hey, people, big up on yourself for the Barrington #71 DW Paul Edwards, the man, Chorus, TikTok, Jason Guna, Gunners Boss. Oh my lord, so many people. Brian McMahon still up. Carlington Grant out of Rockford. There's a Christopher Wright up. Melbourne early B. Richard Green always beat me, Understand me? Always a challenge. Before the game, I saw you earlier, Yeah, man. And everyone is JPL fan. Big up yourself. You understand me? No, boss. I didn't say you can stay in the no vending zone. I am saying, if you take away the goods, the people are fined. If they pay the fine, why them don't get back them goods? What you do with the goods?
Man is man.
Yeah.
I see it now. When you look on some of them, see the person might take all the goods them. You look for them carts in the market. No, I'm not weird. If you look for them carts in the market, I purchase carrot and tomato.
All right. I see no me I talk about people. I see big up yourself. We're not going further. 876 Jamrock, New Media. Bless up to every single one. Listen, thank you all for joining me after run out. Need to take my son to see him. Doctor, check out him eyes, You understand me? Big up on yourself with the people. So, again, hit the like button. Check out Unseen Sports TV, Bomb Sports. Cranky was here. Jason Guna, think he has a show tonight and think. I did not talk about the $4 million amount of money. US dollars for Gold Cup, That's why Jamaica must win this Gold Cup, boss. And 200,000 US in preparation money, You see what I say? Lots of money out there for the 2025 edition of the Gold Cup. So we need to qualify and we need to make that money. We're going to pick up on that on the next show. But I am management. This has been I Am Sure Sports. And as usual, when it gets to the end of the program, you know how it goes. We say we are over and we are OUT out of here.
You watch about dog, SK New Air this. The body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, we cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Ocherase, Galtigo Bay. Everywhere. I Am Sure Sports. Check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like? Ha. Yeah, someone on for the food from young, from where they need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.